Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, live from the Matadome at Cal State Northridge for another, breaking news edition of the Inland Sports Show here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. I'm Pep Fernandez, that's Jeff Gorman. Jeff, man, some breaking news happening in the high school football world. Big time news, and we got both these guys coming on to the show. First off, it just happened. Rich Lunsford, the former head football coach at Arlington High School, is now the head coach at Redlands East Valley. Coach Lunsford will join us live coming up at 3:30 p.m. And then a little bit later at 4 o'clock, the new head football coach at Beaumont High School, and that is the great Jeff Steinberg. So a lot of movement, a lot of things going down this week. I guess it's because all the boards are getting together and giving final approval, Jeff, on a lot of these high school football jobs. Yeah, you know, it took a while. I think it was probably the worst kept secret in the Inland Empire. I think we all knew it was coming. We just weren't allowed to say anything about it. But the domino effect is really going to come into play now. Who takes these big jobs? Because think of it. Both jobs are top jobs in the Inland Empire, top jobs in the Southern California, and filled by great coaches. Yeah, because at Arlington, you know, Coach Lunsford made the Lions relevant again. They were 8-3 last season. They got into the playoffs. That was a huge accomplishment at Arlington High School. And then on the flip side, I mean, gosh, you go to the Rancho Verde High School. They won a CIF Southern Section Division III championship. So Jeff Steinberg took them to a championship level. And it sounds like Pete Duffy, the former head coach of the Mustangs, is going to come back for his second stint as the head coach at Rancho Verde. Again, that has not been confirmed by the board or the school, but that's what it looks like based on the people in our circles, that Pete Duffy's going to come back. And as for Arlington, that's just something that's happening right now, so we'll see where the Arlington Lions go next. Yeah, and the toughest thing is you got to look at Coach Duffy is really the guy who really transformed that Marietta Valley offense. He would be a great guy to come back into that program. He still works on campus at the school and knows the players, knows the system, and can continue to what Coach Steinberg did. As far as Arlington, man, what a great transformation. He really took that program, which really had some problems. You know, the loss of, was it Tyler Llewellyn? Yeah. I mean, it really was a down program because I think when you lose a player on campus, it kind of sends everybody down into a sadness. Coach Lunsford really brought in, you know, he comes from Indiana, he came in, really had the players buying in. It took a while, but everybody at Arlington bought in. They were lifting weights. They were going to study hall. He had a great thing going there. And you hope it continues because he really set a good example going in for the Lions. So we're going to have both of the new head football coaches here on the Inland Sports Show just a little bit later. Again, at 3:30, it'll be Rich Lunsford, just named the head football coach at Redlands East Valley, replacing the great Kurt Bruick. And this isn't just a normal, ordinary high school football program, Jeff. This is a team that won a CIF Inland Division Championship in 2014 and also won the D2 State Championship. So I know there's very high expectations at Redlands East Valley, and if you're looking for a coach to get the most out of his players, I mean, Rich Lunsford is just one of those guys. So he's coming up at 3:30, and then at 4 o'clock, it's going to be Jeff Steinberg. He's going to join us live at 4 o'clock and talk about his decision to go to Beaumont High School and leave Rancho Verde. But I can tell you right now, because I used to be his neighbor. I was 2 doors down from him. Beaumont High School is just down the road, so this is really a homecoming of sorts for Coach Steinberg, and he's going to be real close to home. And I think a lot of these coaches, and we'll ask Coach Steinberg about this, I think there's a lot of coaches out there that love the idea of the one town, one team. You know what I mean? Like, you go to a lot of cities. It's like Ukaipa, Norco. Yeah, there's only a handful of them out there now. I mean, even a town, let's say, like Redlands, Rev, Citrus Valley. I mean, if you want to throw in Arrowhead Christian, there's 4 high schools in Redlands. Beaumont's still one of those places. Ukaipa's still one of those places. It's like the whole city rallies around that one team, that one school. And again, I think it's very appealing for a coach out there to have the backing of a whole town, a whole city. Yeah, and I think you're probably going to have some detractors because guys are sad their coach is leaving. But sometimes coaches, and a lot of times, they don't make the decision to be selfish for their families. A lot of times they give up a lot, especially their family time. But look at both of these coaches. Coach Lunsford lives in Redlands. Look at Coach Steinberg. He lives in Beaumont. This is an opportunity for them to be close to their families, close to their children. It's sometimes a coach has to be a little selfish, and you can't blame him. It's a good move, and it's going to give other great opportunities for other coaches to come in with great programs. Arlington's not, you know, they're not dead, and you look at Rancho Verde, they're not dead at all. They just won a championship, and they have almost everybody coming back. and speaking of maybe being a little bit selfish, and this is speaking from experience, you as a coach, myself in broadcasting since 2000, I mean, our family sacrificed a lot to do these sorts of things. And after a while, after bouncing around, Coach Lunsford, I don't know his exact career trajectory, coming from the Midwest, excuse me, to the Inland Empire, but Coach Steinberg, he came from Canada. His wife's Canadian as well. He went to Ridgecrest Burroughs. He was at A.B. Miller. He was at Santiago. Then, he made the jump to Rancho Verde, and then he goes to Beaumont. At some point, like we were saying, you make all these moves, and you're trying to improve your career and whatnot, but at some point, it's like, you know what? It's about the family. What's best for the family? And in both these cases, again, they're going to be really close to their front door. They're going to be really close to home, and that's very appealing. Probably at this point in their career, they're like, we've moved up, we've accomplished some things. Now we want to do what's best for the family. And in both cases, Coach Lunsford and Coach Steinberg, man, they're in great spots.
Yeah, in fact, I've been talking to Coach Lunsford over the last couple of weeks here, and his whole thought process was, hey, my wife and I, we live in Redlands. I'm 2 miles away from school. I can get to class, and I can be around my student athletes within minutes. He was driving from Redlands to Riverside. That's a long haul every single day, and especially if you need to be on top of your kids, your students' progress, your athletes' progress. You got to be close to where you are.
And can you imagine going from Beaumont all the way to Corona, Santiago? I mean, that's a long haul, especially during drive times, like in the morning when everyone's going to school and going to work. I mean, that's a headache. He was doing that. I mean, Coach Steinberg was doing that. Then he was going to Rancho Verde, which is a little bit better, but still could be a pain in the neck, as opposed to just being like, hey, straight shot down the road, boom. That's where my kids go to school.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience. I mean, you and I have been friends for a long time, and I left the coaching because of all the time I spent driving and all the time I spent coaching. I get home at 9 o'clock at night. I have a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 11-year-old at home that I have to take care of, and I wasn't seeing them. So this, I think, is good for everybody involved because they are going to be close to their families. Coach Steinberg will be close to his daughter that he hadn't seen very much because he was driving all the time back and forth and going to games.
All right, so again, coming up at 3:30, Rich Lunsford, the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley, and at 4 o'clock, the new head football coach at Beaumont, the great Jeff Steinberg. There are some other things. Oh, by the way, we are live at Cal State Northridge. I don't know if we mentioned that off the top, at the Matadome for UC Riverside basketball. They're taking on Cal State Northridge tonight in Big West Conference play. So Jeff and I, it's very quiet in here. The ESPN crews, they're setting up, they're getting things ready. But we're in here. We're going to be in here for the next 3 hours, getting you set for some Big West Conference basketball. Also, other basketball news as we go through our inland sports headlines. Big win for Cal Baptist University. CBU has risen now to number 20 in the entire country in Division II. So CBU at number 20. Big win against Hawaii Hilo last night, 88-55. And the victory in the process clinched their spot for the postseason Pac West tournament. It would have been pretty sad if CBU didn't make the tournament in their home gym, right? We knew they're too good. We knew it was going to happen, but they officially did it last night.
Yeah, and what a nice it's a nice momentum going into that tournament at your own building and really having a shot in your last year of Division II play to go pretty far into the playoffs, possibly a national championship.
Yeah, the Lancers are 1 game back at Dixie State, but it really doesn't matter because you already know that the conference tournament is going to be in your gym. It's not like you're trying to finish first and get that home court advantage for the conference tournament to be in your place. It's already in their place. They know it's going to be at Cal Baptist University. I know they want that last conference championship before they move to Division I, but they can be rest assured, even though they're a game back of Dixie State, it will be in their home gym. It will be in their new event center on campus. So big win last night against Hawaii Hilo, and they've got one more against Chaminade. That's coming up on Thursday. That's going to be their regular season, a home finale, a couple games on the road, and then it's Pac West Conference play for the tournament in that first week of March. And finally, your Winter Olympics update. Jeff is back from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. We made it.
We are reunited, and it feels so good. It seems like I haven't seen you in a month. You're in Hawaii. I'm back in the studio. We're all over the place. But, yeah, I was hanging out in Steamboat, the city of Olympians.
I did not know that. You got out there. I mean, I guess I should know that because we paid for you an all-expense-paid trip to go to Steamboat Springs. and go to the cradle of life where the Winter Olympics was given birth out there, where all these Olympians came from. And in fact, we were talking about this. So Chloe Kim, who's become America's sweetheart, right, for winning gold at 17 years old in the halfpipe.
Yeah, she was 13 and was a world champion, but wasn't allowed to compete in the last Olympics, so finally got her due here this year.
And you said she trains in Steamboat Springs.
They all train in Steamboat Springs, I heard. And Ariel Gold won the bronze.
She took the bronze in the halfpipe, and you said you were like at her house.
Yeah, she was. I was literally the house I was staying in. She was a few doors down. And you go, oh yeah, she lives right there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But you know, going around the city of Steamboat, and I will say this. I was almost snowed in. It was 5.5 feet of snow.
I didn't think you were going to make it back. I got to be honest with you right now.
There was a spot just above Steamboat that got 5.5 feet. I think it was 2.5 feet where we were staying overnight. I was driving a two-wheeler minivan driving through the snow. It was the craziest. I thought I was going to kill my family. I was so worried driving down this, but I was snowmobiling, and I will say this: everywhere you looked in the city, there was like a half pipe you'd see right there. You'd see a ski jump.
You got to train anywhere you can, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And there was what do you call it? The
ski lift?
Ski lifts.
Ski runs?
Ski runs. I'm not a big skier, but there was places everywhere you could ski. It was pretty cool.
Well, we'll talk more Winter Olympics throughout the show, but Jeff is back. He has a full report from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And again, congratulations to the Flying Tomato, Shaun White. His third gold medal in the halfpipe. He won it in 2006, 2010. 2014 did not go as planned, did not finish on the podium, but he's back. He won the gold last night. So the United States dominating those snowboarding events. So we'll talk more about the Winter Olympics a little bit later. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and low prices. Make sure you check them out off of Alessandro Boulevard. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs and Letterman's jackets. KenSportingGoods.com is the website. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. He'll train you up in a variety of different sports. And also, who wants to be bigger and faster and stronger? Make sure you check out the strength and speed classes. That first one is always absolutely free. So go try it out. There's no reason to go try it out at Boost Performance Training in CATALANO Motors in Corona. And you can check them out off Temescal Canyon Road, where you can buy, trade, and finance. And they will make that car shopping experience so easy. I know we all have high expectations when purchasing a vehicle. Let them meet those expectations. Let them exceed those. They're committed to excellence, just like Derek Carr and the Raiders. We come back here more live from the Matadome at Cal State Northridge. And then at 3:30, the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley, the great Rich Lunsford. We'll be right back. We're live from Cal State Northridge. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We are live from the Matadome on the campus of Cal State Northridge. Jeff, I kind of feel like it's a library in here. There's like nobody in here, and it's really quiet. How do you feel?
Hey, it's not a library. It's a morgue. You know why? Because UC Riverside's coming in to kill them.
Oh, is that what's going to happen?
They're coming in. But what a cool place. Didn't I tell you they call this place the Blacktop?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. You know what? My kitchen floor is actually the kind of the same grayish color. It looks like this tile. It almost looks like wood. I mean, well, it is wood, but you know what I mean, like the wood paneling that you'd see like in a house.
Yeah, but what a cool. I mean, it's not an arena. It's a gym, but they've done the most with it. Look at it. They got these great seats over here. It's a really nice place. It's colorful, but that gym floor is bizarre. It's like playing outdoors.
You know, I turn behind us and I see like the red and the black and the white bleachers. What does it remind you of?
I don't know.
Does it remind you of Norta Vista at all? Doesn't it?
No, because no one was ever sitting in those bleachers at Norta Vista when I was coaching. They'd only open one side of the court, and it was the wood side.
Hey, this is going to be really quick. And shout out to Greg Holla, who's holding it back down in the Fox Sports IE studio in Riverside as we are, again, live at Cal State Northridge, getting you set for UCR against Northridge tonight in basketball. I just wanted to tell everyone out there, happy Valentine's Day. We're going to try to come up with some Valentines based on names of athletes and coaches in the Inland Empire. One of them, I'm stealing it off Twitter because the Atlanta Falcons put this out, but Devontae Casey from Cajon High School. Let's see, I want to get it right, so I'm going to read it exactly off of Twitter because it was pretty funny, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to share this with Jeff, and I'm going to share this with everybody here on the Inland Sports Show, but it's a Valentine, and it says, I'm Casey for you.
Well, happy Valentine's Day, and if somebody has a sports-related story, they can tweet us, and maybe we'll read it out on the air if somebody is clever enough to think of something, maybe a coach's name or a player's name, incorporate it into a nice Valentine's Day Valentine, as the little kids used to hand out. Remember those?
Yeah.
We were little kids, and you'd come home with a big bag of Valentines.
Well, in fact, can I give you a Valentine right now, Jeff?
Yes, you can,
okay,
sweetheart.
So I got you a Valentine. I got an extra. Do you want the BB-8 version, or you want the whole Star Wars crew?
The whole crew, because it's got Luke on there.
Okay, go ahead. That's your Happy Valentine's Day, Jeff. Go ahead and open it, and go ahead and read it for everybody out there.
It says, "May the Force be with you, my Valentine." Oh, look at this.
There's something in there too.
Yeah, there's oh, it says from Elle.
Ellie's my daughter, yeah.
Ellie. She says courage, justice, and loyalty.
That's right.
My Valentine.
That's right.
Oh, Ellie.
Wait, is the little sword, the little lightsaber in there?
Oh my gosh, there's a lightsaber. Is this a light stick?
Yes, it's a little lightsaber.
Wait, hold on, I'm gonna break it. Oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna put it through my pierced ear.
Your pierced ear.
Hey, tell Ellie thank you. Ellie, thank you so much.
I will. And you know what? And again, happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. If you've got a funny Valentine that we could share, because this is a family show.
Yeah.
We'd love to pass it along, especially if it's a playoff of words from maybe there's a school or an athlete in the Inland Empire and you want to share it here on the show. We'd love to hear about it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at *Inland_sports, and we'll read some of those throughout the show. But yeah, happy Valentine's, Jeff. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. I really missed you, Pep. And you know what? You just made. I think I might have cried a little bit when you just gave me that.
You make me Casey. You make me Devontae Casey.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Ellie. Thank you for the lightsaber, Ellie, and I'm very excited. And I couldn't have.
And I've got one more. Who's going to be my second lucky Valentine here? I got one more to pass out.
I dare you to give it to Coach Bell.
I might. You know, I might do it.
Seriously, right before the game.
Right before the game.
I give you $10. Seriously, you just got to go up and go, here, Coach. Yeah. Right before.
Coach Bill, I know you're drawing up some plays right now. I know like the whole season's on the line tonight.
So funny.
Happy Valentine's Day. Here you go. Here's BB-8.
Is there a lightsaber in that one too?
Yeah, it feels like it.
That's the best.
It's the real deal.
Yeah, give it to
Pretty good Valentine, right?
It's awesome.
All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we are going to talk with the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley, the great Rich Lunsford. He will join us live, and again, in about 30 minutes, we're going back-to-back football coaches. We're going to have Jeff Steinberg, the new football coach at Beaumont High School as well. You're listening to the one and only Inland Sports Show, live from the Matadome at Cal State Northridge, right here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Dude, this is awesome right here.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Once again, we're live and amplified from the Matadome on the campus of Cal State Northridge as UCR take it on the Matadors tonight in Big West Conference play. But the big story, Jeff, today, all this head football coaching news going on in the IE today, and the big one that just broke moments ago is Rich Lunsford, the former head coach at Arlington, now the new head coach at Redlands East Valley. Is very excited, and this is a real treat because we got him on the line right now. Coach Lunsford, first off, congratulations for myself and Jeff. Man, Redlands East Valley, that's one of the premier programs in Southern California, especially the Inland Empire. Talk about just your initial feelings, your initial thoughts on taking over this Wildcat program.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you guys. I appreciate it a lot. I'm beyond excited about taking over the program. You know, obviously, when I took over Arlington, it was kind of a rebuilding process, and Rev's nowhere near a rebuilding process. They're already up there, expecting championships right away. So I'm super excited to get on board, get on campus, and get with the guys and get to work, man.
Yeah, in 2014, I mean, this was a team back when they kind of did the playoffs a little bit differently. There was the old Inland Division, and this is a Redlands East Valley team that won the Inland Division. They've won a state championship. In fact, that was that same season. So I know the bar's really high at Redlands East Valley. Do you kind of embrace those expectations in terms of, like you said, Arlington, good kids, and no slide on them? You guys went 8-3 last year. You got to the playoffs, but it just feels a little bit differently going into a program like Redlands East Valley that has won championships and state championships in recent years. The bar's a little bit different.
Talk about it. That's why people get into sports. Excuse me. You get into yourself to see where you're at. And obviously, as a coach,
hey, Coach, if you can hear us, go ahead and give us a call back. And we're having a cell phone connection here. Yeah, so he's going to give us a call back here, but that's Rich Lunsford. He's going to give us a call back. Just a tough cell phone reception here, but yeah, the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley, and again, he worked wonders at Arlington. They had a great season. They made the playoffs. They finished 8-3, but when you go to Redlands East Valley, a team that had won 8 straight Citrus Belt League championships, it is a little bit different at Rev. Let's try this one more time. Let's go back to Rich Lunsford calling in here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Sorry about that, Coach. Looks like we got cut off. But, yeah, we were just saying, like, man, the expectations, I assume, are sky high at Redlands East Valley.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be one for championships right away, and so you get into sports and you get into coaching to compete against the best of the best, and I'm going to get that opportunity now. And I know those guys that are hungry to improve off of what they did last year. So I'm really just eager to get there and get to work with them.
Well, we were talking about yourself and also Jeff Steinberg, who's going to Beaumont. In both cases, you guys are getting a lot closer to home. I mean, it's nice to have your job and your football team just a couple blocks away or down the street or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, did that play a part into it, just being a little bit closer to home?
Well, I'm sitting in traffic right now on the 91 talking to you. And next week when I drive to Rev, it's going to take me less than 2 minutes. So a little bit of it.
Yeah, you know what? Sitting in a car, and we all know that Southern California traffic, whether it's the 91, the 10, the 60, you pick it. It's not fun, and you could rather, I guess, utilize that time for something good, for something beneficial, whether it's being at home with your wife or with your football kids at school and coaching them up. So we can understand being a little bit closer to your family and utilizing a little bit more extra time here. When you look at this team, Coach Lunsford, at Redlands East Valley, Cajon, as we saw in the CBL, fantastic season. Your D4 champion, went all the way to the state finals in Division II AA. When you look at the CBL and where Redlands East Valley is at, how do you see where the Wildcats maybe fit in going forward? I know you're obviously still new. You're new on the job, and you're still getting to know the program and the kids and who's coming back and all that kind of thing. But I would expect that you're going to hit the ground running and try to get this team back on top in the CBL.
There's no question about that. From the first day I stepped foot on campus and I talked to the guys, we're going to talk about championships. We're not going to talk about making the playoffs or trying to beat Cajon or anything like that. We're going to be talking about the championships from day one we walk in there. They're going to have to work and act and do everything on campus, in the classroom, and on the field like a champion would.
Well, Coach, you're coming into a program that's really kind of kind of run itself now because it's been so successful. You did the same at Arlington. What are you going to take from Arlington that you learned from those guys that you can transfer over to Redlands East Valley? Because, you know, I follow you on social media. I know when you guys are lifting weights. I know when you have study hall. I knew all about the Arlington program. So what are you going to bring to Redlands East Valley that'll put your own mark to the program? You think, you know, whether it be weightlifting, you know, studying with, you know, studying with students, you know,
the study hall?
The study hall with the kids. What are you going to bring?
I'm going to bring the same thing that I've always brung everywhere I go. You know, I try to build relationships with the kid. I try to make sure that they understand how much I do care about them more than just as a football player. I try to make sure that they understand that I want them to be the best person they could be for their future. I want them to be great men. I want them to be great husbands. I want them to be great fathers down the road. So that's the biggest thing that I'm going to bring to them. At Arlington, Jeff, I had to make sure I reminded everybody what we were doing. We had to start a winning culture and a winning tradition there. The kids at Rev don't have to start one. They're ready to go. So I'm assuming I'm not going to have to be putting so much on Twitter to respond and remind kids, hey, you got to be in the weight room. Hey, don't forget your cleats today.
So, Coach Lunsford, when you look at Redlands East Valley and the program and their tradition of winning, do you go in there and you try to, you know, like Jeff kind of said, put your own stamp on the program and do things maybe a little bit differently? Or do you go in there thinking, okay, what has already worked here for the Wildcats? Let's take a little bit of that, what's already working, and then I'm going to take what's worked at Arlington or maybe some of your other coaching stops and kind of make a blend. Is every stop, every coaching stop a little bit different where you take pieces from here and there and you put it together to create like a new brand, a new stamp on the program?
Well, I don't plan on – mostly because I don't know anything that Coach Bruick did there before. So I don't plan on taking anything that he did previously. If it so happens that we both do something similar and the kids are like, hey, Coach Bruick used to do that all the time too, then that's the only reason that would occur. But other than that, I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing from day one whenever I took over. I've got some guys around me that are some assistant coaches already on board that are going to be super helpful with making sure that we're doing things the right way, the way that I want to do them. But yeah, every stop is a little bit different. You always got to see what you're working with, kind of athletes that you have, kind of players that are around, and you don't want to put a square peg into a circle hole. So you got to make sure you put all the pieces together the right way.
Now, Coach, I know there probably wasn't a dry eye at Arlington today. But as you go on to Redlands East Valley, is there anybody, because I know a lot of people don't get thanked, is there anybody you want to thank at Arlington, at Rev, that maybe people don't hear enough about? Maybe it's an athletic director or a teacher. Is there anybody you want to thank at Arlington before you head on to Redlands East Valley?
Well, my administration in Arlington was fantastic from when I walked in. I was hired by a principal and an athletic director that retired right after that. So I kind of just got thrown in the lap of the new principal and new athletic director. Mark Dubazan and Stephen Ibarra have been absolutely fantastic with me from day one. They're letting me out of my contract early to go and get to Rev and start to get to work early. And a lot of it has to do with that because those guys, push for me to do it because they understand that that's what's necessary to be successful. So no doubt about it, those two guys need to be thanked right away.
Talking with Rich Lunsford, the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Coach, so what is the first order of business? Is it get the guys in the weight room? Is it go ahead and start planning for some spring ball practices? What's the first order of business now that you're the head coach at Rev?
Well, weight room is always the first part of business in the off season. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to get out and we're going to get on the ground running. We're going to get out on the field. We got to get that ball flying through the air some. They got to learn a new system, new terminology. Everything that I'm bringing in is going to be new to them. So we got to hit the ground running. I'm going to demand a lot out of them and expect a lot out of them. And I'm assuming I'm going to get that back from them because everything I hear on that campus is the excitement to get started up.
So did you say you're going over there next week? You're going to start on campus next week?
Yep, I start up next Tuesday.
Again, he's got that short drive from his front door down to Redlands East Valley as the new head football coach of the Wildcats. Coach, before we let you go, as you're going into your first season here, I know we've got, let me do some quick math in my head, about 5-6 months, I guess,
Yes.
before kickoff in August. You know, Coach, if you were going to tell people out there, you know, maybe some Redlands East Valley football fans who have followed the Wildcats for a while now, you know, what would you say to the people listening, to the people watching out there right now, to you know, because Kurt Brooks, the only coach they've known, I mean, he's been there forever. They did so many great things. What would you do? What kind of message would you send out there to kind of reassure Rev Nation that, you know what, they're in good hands, we're going to keep the ball rolling, and like you said, championships is what you guys are going for?
Be ready to work. There's one thing that I've done everywhere I've ever been at, and it's always about hard work, putting in all the work you can in the off season, excuse me, in the classroom, talk, just making sure that you're fully prepared every time you touch that field. And we're going to play an exciting brand of football. We're going to be flying around the field. We're going to be playing fast and aggressively on defense, and we're going to be throwing that ball around on offense. I'm just excited to get out there and get done.
Well, Coach, you know, I'm a Ramona Ram, and I have to say I normally don't like the Arlington Lions, but you know, I've covered Riverside football the last couple seasons, and you and I have had a chance to talk a few times and get to know each other. But I really, really do think that you did a great job at Arlington. I know they're going to be sorely sad to see you leave, but whatever you did, I hope they continue to take upon what you taught them, and I hope you take that over to Redlands East Valley. And now I'm going to be a Redlands East Valley fan, I guess.
I appreciate it, Jeff, man. Thanks a lot. I've loved working with you guys, and I can't wait to keep it going.
Well, that's Rich Lunsford, the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley, taking over the Wildcats after 3 years at Arlington High School, and got the Lions to the playoffs. It was a fantastic year last year, and we're excited to see how it's going to go down at Rev. Coach Lunsford, congratulations, and we appreciate it. Hey, and happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Happy Valentine's Day to you guys, too.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, that's the great Rich Lunsford. Had to sneak in the Happy Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, you did. But he doesn't have a cool "May the Force be with you" Valentine from Ellie Fernandez.
Oh, yeah, and I've got one more Valentine, and I got to be very, very critical. Who am I going to give this to?
I'm telling you, right before the tip-off would be I'll give it to him. But can I say this? I just read the back of my Valentine from Ellie Fernandez. It says, "To my fiend."
Yeah, who's Fiend?
I don't. Maybe I didn't know I was a bad guy.
So here's the deal. So she filled all these out for her friends, but she's in Spanish immersion. So she's learned Spanish for the last 3 years, no English.
Está
and
Susana en casa.
She spelled friend F-R-E-I-N-D, and I'm like,
Friend.
well, Ellie, I before E, except after C, right? Everyone knows that.
And she looked at you like you were nuts.
She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, that's right. You have not learned English yet. You've learned Spanish. So, yes, my fiend.
My fiend.
Yeah, so.
Well, Ellie, I'm going to treasure this. I'm going to take it home with my little lightsaber. I'm going to sleep with my lightsaber next to my pillow, so it will guide me to the restroom in the middle of the night.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Greg Hall is back in the studio holding it down. We're going to take an early break here. I got some text messages from Coach Steinberg. We're going to get him on in a couple minutes, but he's got some appointments going on, so we're going to shift our schedule a little bit as well. So we're going to take a break right here, and when we come back, we'll talk more high school football, Winter Olympics, the Lakers making some moves. Jeff wants to talk about LeVar Ball, and also, of course, spring training. Dodgers and Angels getting set to report. The pitchers and catchers are there as spring training for baseball is upon us. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're getting you all set for UCR taking on Cal State Northridge tonight, Big West Conference basketball. And Jeff, we'll talk about this throughout the show because we still got 2 more hours to go. But this is a huge, kind of like a playoff game for the Highlanders tonight because they have to win to get out of last place right now in the conference and make that postseason tournament.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, Riverside's 1-9 in conference. CSUN is 3-7, which means they have to gain ground on these guys, and they've got to do it fast because Northridge just beat Hawaii. We were hoping that Hawaii would beat Northridge, but now they're 2 games back and they're 2 games behind Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So the Highlanders have to do something, and they have to do it on the road tonight.
Yeah, big game tonight, and we'll be talking about it over the course of the next 2 hours here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're proudly brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Kin's Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass in Corona, and CATALANO Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. So it's an ESPN game. So the ESPN crew's setting up all the cameras, getting everything ready. And Jeff, you always the comedian, always the funny guy over here. The rims are what? 3 feet tall right now? Maybe 3?
About 3.5 feet tall.
3.5 feet, and you're like, can you dunk on those? You asked me, can I dunk on those?
Yeah.
Jeff.
Because, you're a little guy.
You're going to put it on Twitter, too?
Yeah.
Mr. Comedian over here.
Yeah, because you would fit in a shoebox, and I'm looking at the way the court's set up now, and yeah, you could dunk on. You might be able to dunk on that.
Man, you come back from Steamboat Springs, you think you just own the place, just being funny and cracking jokes and going on social media.
I will say this. The last 24 hours of my life were the most stressful I've ever had, and I've coached a lot of big games. I mean, not very big games, but big games. and
as big as Novi versus La Sierra can be, right?
And I can tell you this. Yesterday, I was worried for my children and my wife's life.
Well, you said you were white-knuckling it. Like you were so stressed out behind the wheel trying to get your family to the airport because it snowed and it snowed and it snowed and then it snowed a little bit more.
Okay, just put it this way. It snowed 2.5 feet. And if anybody that's lived in this, it snowed 2.5 feet in about 4 hours. And then 5.5 feet just up the ways where I was snowmobiling. I was doing my work. I was doing big work. But I'm telling you, yesterday was the first time that I looked at my wife and I looked at my children, and I was so stressed I almost cried. I literally almost cried.
You almost broke down.
Yeah, because I was in a minivan. I was fishtailing, sliding all over the place, and I had to drive literally 3.5 miles through this snow, and it was a blizzard conditions. My wife's face looked like it was sunburned from sitting in the car because the sun did come out, and when it came out, it was so bright. My kids were like, man, I can't see anything, but it was a rough time. But I got to the airport. I flew a really horrible airline, and my kids were they were okay on the plane. They were little. I have a 1-year-old. He cried a little bit. But I got home, and all I wanted to do was come see you, Pep Fernandez.
Well, you made it, and you made it just in time because we have a big sports day. Of course, we just had Rich Lunsford. We broke the news. He is the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley after 3 seasons at Arlington. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, Coach Steinberg, the new head football coach at Beaumont, he's going to join us as soon as he can. He's got some stuff going on behind the scenes. It's all good. He's just got some appointments and stuff going on, but he's going to call us when he can because, again, we're sitting courtside here at the Matadome, the home of the Matadors at Cal State Northridge, getting you all set for the Matadors taking on UC Riverside tonight in Big West Conference play. And I know you missed this and you wanted to talk about it. We broke it down yesterday when you were en route somewhere between Steamboat Springs and Riverside. The fact that LeVar Ball came out and said that he wanted all 3 of his sons together on the Lakers at the same exact time. And if the Lakers won't bring in the middle ball, the middle ball Jello,
yeah,
and the little ball that's Melo, if they don't bring in Melo and Jello, he doesn't want Lonzo to stay with the Lakers. In fact, he says he's going to tell him not to re-sign with the Lakers so that way they can all go to the same place and all the 3 balls be together, playing on the same team, same NBA team at the same time.
Well, I think now, and I've thought about this a little bit, I think it's time for Magic Johnson, who probably woke up yesterday morning after seeing these quotes. I think it might be a time where you sit down, Lonzo, and you say, look, you better straighten this out. We don't want to hear from your father. We don't want to hear from anybody again. You are a Laker. We don't want the distractions. Your distractions are going to lead to possibilities of guys not coming to play in the free agent market because your dad is so divisive and such a problem. He's polarizing. I can't deal with him. Or we're going to move you. And I think that's really, really the route they need to do.
But here's the case. This is what I said yesterday on the show. I don't even feel like he's tradable. Who would want him? I'm a Sacramento Kings fan. They stink. I wouldn't want him in Sacramento.
And that's the problem is no one's going to want to take on that father. You know, Lonzo might be a nice guy, and the word on the street is he's a really nice young man, but there's a time when you got to step up and be a man and not be a little boy anymore. You got to step up to your father and say, "Look, Dad, knock it off. You're ruining everything that I have in Los Angeles." You know, his girlfriend is pregnant. He's going to be a father. He's got to start taking his own initiative and start growing up and separating himself from the enigma, which is his father.
Because think about it. He's from Chino Hills High School. He's from Southern California. Being a Laker and wearing the purple and gold was probably his lifelong dream, right? If you play basketball in Southern California as a kid, you probably dream of being the next Kobe Bryant and wearing those colors and playing at Staples Center. This could be like a lifelong dream come true, and now his dad's going to spoil everything, and if his dad doesn't get his way, he makes it sound like Lonzo's like a 13-year-old kid and he's going to rip him off some AAU team and put him on another team. Like, it doesn't work like that. We're talking about the NBA. We're talking about professional basketball. We're talking about millions of dollars here.
It's ridiculous that it's come down to this. He's such a polarizing figure. I'm tired of everybody giving him, you know, the space. We're doing it just because we're thinking more about the Lakers. We're thinking more about the young man. And I'm tired of saying he's a young man. He needs to grow up. This needs to be a time where he separates himself. Or, like I said, the Lakers can get something from him. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, if I'm Magic Johnson, I don't want to deal with this headache. Let's package Lonzo Ball. Let's package that horrible dang contract.
That dang contract.
And maybe package those 2 first-round picks they have to clear the books. Bring in a guy with an expiring contract. I know I don't know if the rules are that you're able to trade a rookie, but you can buy him out. Buy him out. Get rid of it. Get rid of that space. Just be rid of the Ball experience. The Ball experience so far, he hasn't played. He's missed so many games. He's not playing until after the All-Star break. What is he really bringing to the table? The Lakers are winning without him. The Lakers
They're playing better without him, yeah.
And they have a great young core. You got Julius Randle, you got Kuzma, you got Ingram. You have guys that want to be Lakers, and they're team guys. You don't ever hear anything from those guys. But the biggest thing is you never hear anything from Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball needs to say something because saying nothing is just digging him a deeper and deeper hole.
Well, I think the first red flag was, you know, rewind a couple of weeks ago or even months ago at this point, when LeVar Ball came out and said the fact that Luke Walton, the head coach of the Lakers, didn't know how to coach his son, didn't know how to coach the team. That's why they were unsuccessful, and that he could do a better job. So when they went to Lonzo Ball and said, hey, you know, did you hear what your dad said? He says, you know, Luke Walton doesn't know what he's doing. You know, what do you think about playing for Luke Walton? And his response was, well, I'll play for any coach. He didn't have Coach Walton's back. He said, I'll play for any coach. That is not an endorsement at all, not even close to one. There's red flags. To me, if I was Magic Johnson right now and I was calling the shots, Lonzo Ball's on his rookie deal, right? He can't be making that much money. I would just buy him out and say, adios, brother. Good luck. If you can find an NBA team that'll take you, go for it. If not, see you in Lithuania.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. The other aspect of this is he's really trying to force his younger sons onto the Lakers or in the league. When I can tell you this, the youngest one might have a shot if he grows a little bit and continues. He doesn't know how to play any defense at all. And the middle ball brother, he has no chance if hell froze over, he still wouldn't play. He would not. He was a marginal player on UCLA's team and was really only signed to get the older brother and the younger brother.
It was like a package deal, right?
He was a pawn in the entire scheme of this NBA deal. He's never going to play in the NBA, and he needs to just be quiet, walk away, because the polarizing effect on him is affecting his younger children and his older ball in a complete negative light. And I think the Lakers are going to get tired of it. I think the team is going to get tired of it because I played on good teams. You don't want a guy that's, in the locker room, you're going to say, hey, man, your dad is really causing some problems. If he doesn't step up and say something, that team, he's going to lose that team. If you're a point guard, you can't lose your team.
And it's all going to come to a head pretty quickly because LiAngelo Ball is going to be eligible to come to the NBA over the summer. He'll have that 1 year, remember, out of high school. He'll be 19 years old. And LeVar Ball said the first move that the Lakers will have to make is bring in LiAngelo Ball. And if the Lakers say no, he's like, okay, I'll bring him back to Lithuania. He will continue to play with the small ball, mellow ball, right? They'll stay there. And then when the contract is up for Lonzo, then he'll move all of his sons to the same team, as if he's calling the shots, as if he's an NBA owner and he's going to tell them directly where they're going to go. But that's the first move. The first move is he wants the Lakers to bring in LiAngelo Ball this summer, and that's like that will get the ball rolling, no pun intended, to get all three Ball brothers on the same team in purple and gold.
Well, I think if you sign the middle ball, LiAngelo, is that his name?
Yeah.
I think if you sign
Yellow Ball,
whatever NBA general manager even thinks about signing him, if they do, they need to be fired immediately because the guy can't play. Has no effect. And I'm not ripping the kid. He's just not an NBA player. He's not a Pac-12 player. He's playing against young kids in Lithuania. He has no shot. You know, I have a friend of mine, Mark Workentine, was a longtime president and general manager in the NBA. He's a Riverside guy, friends with him. I know for a fact he wouldn't sign him. He didn't want any part of the Ball brothers. He was the president of the New York Knicks last year, or the general manager of the New York Knicks. There's no way in heck. And anybody that would sign him needs to be fired because he's not an NBA player. He never will be. Athletically, he reached the ceiling after his sophomore year, and there's nothing more you can say.
Well, let's just say the Lakers decide, or any NBA team, not to bring in LiAngelo Ball. What's that going to do for the youngest Ball brother, who might actually be good enough to make it to the NBA one day, LaMelo Ball? It's kind of like they are they're ruining any chances for him, the youngest one, to actually pave his own way and get to the NBA if the dad doesn't get his way.
Well, he's going to come in, and he's always going to look upon as being a cancer. And it might not be fair to the kid, but when you are run by your father, and your father dictates anything that you're doing, any move you're making, whether you're brushing your teeth, you're drinking the Big Baller brand water, anything you do, he's really a detriment to his kids.
All right, right now we're going to go straight to the Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change Celebrity Hotline. He's a friend of the show, and we're super excited for him because this is a very big deal. The new head football coach at Beaumont High School, Jeff Steinberg. Coach, first off, congratulations. What's it been like today? Because I'm sure social media and your phone, everything's popping off.
Yeah, busy. Just all been very positive, and calls from friends and stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Now, we just had Coach Lunsford on as well, who's going from Arlington to Redlands East Valley. And in his case, in your case as well, this is a situation where you're going to be a lot closer to home. Beaumont High School is going to be down the street for Coach Lunsford, the same thing with Redlands East Valley. Jeff has been in coaching for a long, long time. He's bounced around. He totally gets it. But there's a comfort knowing that, your school and your family aren't really that too far apart. Heaven forbid there's an emergency or you need to get one place to the other or coming home late. You're really close, and that goes into the decision-making quite a bit at this point, doesn't it?
Oh, sure. And just being a coach and having your kids grow up around the field and actually getting to be out there any day and not a hassle for Jocelyn to pick them up or bring them over. So that part's going to be great, and obviously living in the community where where I'm going to be working, you've got a vested interest, and I've been very interested in how Beaumont's been doing for years now. So it's great to be there.
How about the fact that there's several towns in the Inland Empire that it's one team, one town. And in many cities, there's multiple teams in one city, but there's something appealing. There's something, almost like old school football, when they shut down the town on Friday night and everyone goes to the high school football game. I think maybe you experienced that a little bit up at Ridgecrest and Burroughs. But was that appealing to you and being in Beaumont and being that one town, one team mentality?
That was huge. That really played a big factor in the decision, just getting back to being able to do the things that we did when I was up at Burroughs, and having an impact in the community and being able to do some outreach with the elementary and middle schools, and just knowing people in the district and knowing families, that played a big role.
Now, Coach, you just won a CIF championship. You have a full cupboard of players at Rancho Verde. What made you, the staple is, what made you leave a great program, great players, to go to Beaumont and really kind of start over? What was your main thought process for taking that that job? Was it being closer to home?
That was obviously a big factor, but I thought, how exciting! What a great challenge to come in and do the things that I've been doing at other schools, and now do it here and see how far we can go. And I really think that there's a lot of things. The table's set. The district's extremely supportive. I've got a great principal, great superintendent now. That I think that if anything, I've always been fortunate to be in districts where the support's there from the superintendent and the principal at the high school. So that was big, and I felt like I think that Rancho Verde's in a great place. Coach Duffy left it to me in a really good spot, and I thought we did a lot of great things, and even took it to another level with continuing to win and the academics and players just doing great things, and I think we leave it in good shape for Coach Duffy to continue and do his thing.
We're talking with Jeff Steinberg, the new head football coach at Beaumont High School, here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coach, Beaumont was 5-5 last season, and their last winning season was 2012 at 9-3. What are some of the things that you're going to do as soon as you go on the job and start getting your hands dirty over there and see what you got? What's kind of that first order of business?
Aside from putting the staff together, is really important for me to sit down with every returning player and spend the time with every kid coming back, get to know them, build relationships, and I think that's where it all starts. Is building relationships with the players, with their families, with the teachers, with the community. I get so excited by that stuff, and I think that's really the essence of doing great things is being able to forge those relationships, because I think those are going to be ultimately what take you through some tough times. And I think having the great relationships when I was at Rancho Verde, I really think those were the things that allowed us to do great things this season.
And if you needed one more thing to kind of sweeten the deal, how about those facilities out there? That video scoreboard, something you'd see at a professional ballpark, or what I mean? Like it's top quality, not something you'd see at a normal high school football stadium.
Oh yeah, their facilities really are over the top, and they remind me in a way of what Norco has out there. I think the stadium's designed somewhat the same. We've got our own weight room down there, and the facilities I just think are great.
I'm gonna have a hard time picturing you wearing blue. It just hit me.
Never. Suddenly, my wardrobe this week has all of a sudden we've got a lot of blue in the wardrobe.
So, Coach, you going to take that John Deere hat that we saw you wearing in a game this year and bring it over to Beaumont?
Oh yeah. I may break it out before I send it over to you guys, as I promised.
That's right.
Well, I was kind of joking with Coach the fact that he still gets to see Citrus Hill too. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's going to see Citrus Hill in Mountain Pass League play. Coach, I don't even know what division is Beaumont for the playoffs. Have you already looked into that?
Yeah. So we're currently in Division 10.
Uh-huh.
And we're looking at just getting our head down and being focused and getting some work in.
Now, is the schedule for the upcoming season already in place? Do you know who you're going to have in non-league?
Yeah, we're almost set. We've got one more game that we need to schedule for week 1. We start the season off week 0 with Palm Desert High School, which returns a lot of talent and had a great year. So right from the get-go, it's going to be a challenging schedule. And then, obviously in league, perennial league champs Citrus Hill, but it's always nice to play them. And and we're just gonna do our thing and work towards just doing the right thing. And I think winning is going to be a byproduct of the work that we put in.
Well, Coach, congratulations. We're super excited for you, especially for your family, too, because, again, it's going to be nice to be so close to home and again, have your family maybe more around. No more. I mean, there's still late nights, but maybe not as late, having to make an extra half-hour, 45-minute commute here and there. So we're excited about it. Yeah, Jeff.
And Coach, you know how much money you're going to save in gas for the rest of the year? Take your wife out.
I have a hybrid, so I think I'll save about $50 a month. So I guess every penny counts.
We'll take that money and take your wife out out for a nice Valentine's Day dinner.
Yes.
and celebrate your upcoming fruits of your labor, and we really hope and wish you the best over at Beaumont.
I appreciate it, guys. I'm really excited.
All right, that's Jeff Steinberg, the new head football coach at Beaumont High School, right here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Again, congratulations, Coach, and we'll talk again soon. All right, that's Coach Steinberg. And, yes, the John Deere hat is going with him to Beaumont High School. I know that's the big question. It was gripping the Inland Empire. What would he do with the John Deere hat? And, yes, it is going to B-City, Beaumont High School. Have you been to that stadium, Jeff?
I have.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know, my wife and I like to go up to Oak Glen.
Yes.
And we come down that back way. And, you know, I always like to tour every high school and every city I go to. And I was like, wow, Beaumont's really changed a lot. I remember it as a kid. It was just a tiny little place. They rebuilt the whole school.
Yeah, it's a fantastic facility, brand new stadium, and that video board that they have is unbelievable. You won't see that anywhere at a high school in the Inland Empire. It's very top-notch facilities. And Martin Dussault, the athletic director out there at Beaumont High School, the administration, the school board, they all know it, and I'll just say it too. They hit a home run. I mean, this is going to be big time. It's great to see Coach Steinberg landing that job. And again, it sounds like Pete Duffy, the former Rancho Verde coach, is going to be back with the Mustangs. And even going back to Lunsford, Rich Lunsford, who's the new football coach at Redlands East Valley, now it's who's going to get the Arlington job. You know, now that one's open. So, again, it's like a chain effect. It's like a snowball. It's a domino. It just keeps happening.
Well, it's got to stop because they got to give a job to a new guy, because if they don't, the jobs are just going to continue to open, and it's going to be a domino effect continuing.
All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, again, we are live from the Matadome on the campus of Cal State Northridge as the UC Riverside Highlanders getting set to take on the Matadors tonight. Big West Conference play. When we come back, we'll preview more of this matchup, and I've got a question for Jeff.
Question.
I hope these guys know about the Stones.
If they don't know about the Stones, they have no chance.
We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show live from the Matadome at Cal State Northridge on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Again, a big thank you to not only Jeff Steinberg, the new head football coach at Beaumont High School, but the new head football coach at Redlands East Valley, Rich Lunsford, joining us here in our first hour. Jeff, we are live from the Matadome, and people around campus, we were walking around, people were like, that's the house that Ghazal built.
That is.
Ghazal Hassan, celebrity, and he's here with us right now. This is big time. He wanted to even get you some food. I guess you look hungry.
I'm always hungry.
Does he look hungry, Ghazal?
I wanted to be a good host, you know. That's what Pakistanis do. You come to their house, they feed you.
There
you
you go.
But here's the funny thing is, not the house that I built. You know where you are, right?
Reggie's house?
This is the site of the All-Valley Karate Championships, the home of the Cobra Kai.
That's right, in Karate Kid.
Remember out front there was where J.C. Penney 398, right out there. Right out there. The late, God rest his soul, the great Noriyuki Pat Morita playing Mr. Miyagi. Of course, Daniel Russo. Daniel with an L. Ali with an I. Oh, it was the other way around. But you guys get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of tradition here, including the Karate Kid, which is awesome. But a big game tonight between the Highlanders and the Matadors. And if you're a UC Riverside basketball fan, you've got to get this game. You got to have this game.
Yeah.
And for Cal State Northridge, you don't like the Highlanders nipping at your heels. You want a little bit of separation here, a little bit of pad, a little bit of cushion as we head into these final games in Big West Conference play. We were both in Hawaii, Ghazal. You were just days ago. Yeah, we barely missed each other.
You left me the tiki statue, though. I got to see Vincent Price.
You got that one?
So
okay.
Thank you very much.
I left that for you in the same room. He popped in there, and there was.
Were you guys in the DoubleTree? Where'd you guys stay?
We were at, I just told you.
It was in the Aston.
The Aston at Waikiki.
Okay, we're in the DoubleTree. We were actually a little bit off the beach, which I think was a smart move by the coach.
No.
We were more of it was still a touristy area, but it was kind of more of a local area. But normally we're right on the beach, like they put you in the touristy area, and it's hard.
That's exactly what, literally, like I told Jeff, I got a pretty good arm. I could have probably thrown a rock from my hotel balcony into the ocean. But, yeah, there was one street that separated.
It must have been really close.
Well, hold on. It was like, what, 5 feet away? Like, how close was this beach? How close was the water?
I thought you were going to be thankful to be home, Jeff.
Yeah.
Like, you're right away getting after this guy.
He's just angry and mean and ill-spirited.
It's nice to know your vitriol is not just reserved for LeVar Ball. It's for everybody.
It's equal opportunity anger.
Hey, by the way, your hip-hop name? GG Salt.
GG Salt.
Remember the old
What's up,
salt
GG?
fish?
Yes,
GG Salt.
Yeah.
And then it would be, I like the salt when you guys said that it's salty and pep, like salt and pepper.
It would make sense.
And that would make Jihala Spinderella or Spinderello. By the way, I feel really bad. Last time I was on the show, I did not shout out Jihala. I felt really horrible about it. I didn't mind that I left out Cullen, but Jihala, he's a vital part of the show, and he plays those great Isai Morales.
He's probably
clips,
playing something right now. Right now.
But I have a great Isai. When you guys have time, I have a great Isai Morales story.
Isai, you do?
Let me tell it right now?
Yeah, we always have time here.
Yeah,
folks.
we got some time.
Of course, I was a huge fan of LeBron. Like my brother, it's weird. My brother, sister, and I all have very distinct tastes, right? The one movie we'd sit together and watch was LeBamba. We just love LeBamba, Richie Valens and Lou Diamond Phillips and of course Bob Morales. So in a different life, I actually was a writer. I was a TV and film writer when I was a young man, and I was working for, you probably don't remember, but Jeff will remember, one Paul Montgomery Shore. He used to do Totally Pauly on MTV.
Wait, yeah, Pauly Shore, yeah.
Yeah. So
of
I
course.
I was a writer
Encino
for
Man,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So he used to live up, I think he still does, lives up Nichols Canyon. So we would work at his house. I would drive up Nichols, and we'd go and we'd write for the whole day, and we'd come up with ideas and whatnot. So one day, I had this old car, and it broke, kind of stalled out. So it was it stalled out at a good place though. It was like a Sunday, so parking, there was no meters on. So I just pulled it over to a spot on Gardner, and I said, no big deal. I'll cross the street. It's like on I think Fairfax is across street. I'll just walk. I'll just call. Pauly said, "Jay, just call me and I'll come get you if it's a problem." So I call him, doesn't answer the phone, So I'm like, you know what? I'll walk up. How long could it be, right? It's like a couple of miles straight up. So about a third of the way up the hill, I realized I made a serious error here. It's 2 miles, very steep, like a steep incline going all the way up.
You're getting a workout.
Yeah, you're getting a workout, and I'm sweating and everything. And then I realized I tried to call him, and I was, wow, the phone doesn't work up. This is 10 years ago, 12 years ago. The phone's not working.
This is like no
here.
reception.
So it's like I got man without a country. Guy beats his horn and says, "Hey man, where you going? Like you stuck? You need a ride? So I get in the car, against everything you're ever taught about,
stranger danger.
Strange man, nice car in Hollywood. It was Esai Morales.
Oh, now I'm even more worried.
Esai Morales. So, so I'm a little worried. We start talking, and then I recognize him. I'm like, so you're from New York, right? It's like, yeah. I think he was doing like NYPD Blue at the time or something like that, or just come out NYPD Blue. So we start rapping, and he's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Top. He's like, you're going to Paulie's place. Because he worked with Paulie in the Army. They knew each other, So I found out Paulie was out at the pool. That's why he didn't hear the phone. He was in the pool
with ladies.
And he was swimming.
Oh.
He's a big workout guy.
Is he really?
He really is. He has got a Pilates machine in his house. I don't know if much people know him that, but he's got a Pilates machine. He has a guy come over to work him out. He's really into the fitness thing. Anyway, so I tell Paulie what happened. He goes, "Oh, Esai," like in the old voice. Esai. Yeah. So they're buddies, obviously.
I broke
down.
That's
so Bob from, and then I call, of course, my sister was super excited. Like, you mean Bob from Little Bamba gave you a ride? That's the coolest thing in the world.
Hey, did you see Esai's last role? He was in Ozark.
Oh, that's right. He was great in Ozark.
Okay, but it ended
bad
for him.
Is that the Netflix show? Or is that the?
Yeah, it ended really, really bad for him. I was like, oh my gosh, Esai Morales. That's all I can say. I don't want to be a spoiler.
And then like I watched the movie and like Greg knows, like you start calling people cabron and carnal, and the Mexican guy's looking at you like, who do you think you are, Like, oh, I just watched La Bamba. Like, oh yeah, okay, then it's okay.
Hey, by the way,
you've grown, carnal. You're a big sucker for 16.
Greg Holla, holding it down in the Fox Sports IE studio, says he likes Gigi Salt.
Gigi Salt.
So I guess it's a go. It's a thumbs up from Greg Holla.
He's a DJ, so he knows.
He knows.
I have a lot of nicknames, apparently too. I was talking to you yesterday. You called me
G-Man.
The Mayor.
The Mayor,
like
Big Jeezy.
Big Jeezy. Everybody calls themselves Big Jeezy now. That's the problem.
They do?
There's like about 17, there's about 17 Big Jeezys.
Stop it.
Yeah.
The original Big Jeezy.
I am the OG Big Jeezy. I was Jammin' Baby G growing up. That was what they called me.
Jammin' Baby G?
Yeah, it sounds right. Because I was Baby Gorham. Growing up, that's all everybody would say is, hey, look, it's Baby Gorham.
Are you the youngest?
I am the youngest.
That explains how you're so good socially.
I'm a social.
Is he good socially?
Well, because usually big guys aren't. Usually big guys are very kind of sullen and quiet. That's why, like, Shaq gets all the love, right?
Yeah.
He's like this big guy who's very social.
I wasn't always this big and svelte. I used to have a six-pack at one time.
Hey, I got a serious question for Ghazal. Do they have a band here at Northridge, like a school band?
They have a band. I think they do play the Stones, too.
Do they?
I think they do.
If they don't play
That's exactly where I was going with this.
If they don't play the Stones, we are going to defeat
walk
you.
out.
No, but
I'm going on strike.
Here's the caveat, though. The caveat is we have a DJ. We have DJ Malski here.
Oh.
So if DJ Malski's here, you probably won't hear the Stones.
Does he take requests?
Why wouldn't he play the Stones? Is he not here?
No. You got to have. He gets here in time. I'm going to bring him over because Malski is the man I know. Listen, I'm generally against DJs at arenas, but Malski is the exception for me.
I have a hard time saying the name Malski.
Malski, M-A-L-S-K-I-E.
DJ
Malski.
Me, DJ
Hope he knows
Malski.
the Stones.
He works for Stevie Wonder.
He does.
He works for KGLH.
Is he his driver?
Well, by the way, you know Stevie ain't blind, right?
That is the old wives' tale.
Okay, listen. Look at every picture of women that he's dated in the last 40 years and tell me he's blind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Tell me he's blind.
But there is a rumor. There was an old wives' tale that he's not blind.
Conspiracy theory here?
Yeah.
He's not. He's blind. He's not full. He's not fully. Blind. Yeah.
Yeah, some vision is what you're implying. Yeah.
He's got great hands.
Well, we're here once again live at the Matadome, the home of Cal State Northridge for UC Riverside basketball tonight. Jeff and I will have the call at GoHighlanders.com. And again, this is a must-win situation for UCR. There's only was there 5 games left?
I don't know.
We did a little bit of homework for this game, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little depressed though because I was really hoping that the Matadors would get killed in Hawaii just so we could have this
6
game.
games.
Just so we could get them. UC Riverside's going to get them. But now we're 2 back. We're 2 back everybody.
Well, it also puts a damper on your win, right? Like you guys, because you guys own Hawaii.
We do.
You go there, and like the 3rd time in the year, the Highlanders have beaten Hawaii. So it's like
we love the island. Something about the island.
That's your little team to slap around.
Yeah.
And then somebody, it's like you have a little brother, or
Yeah.
like you can beat up your little brother, but nobody else can, right?
Yeah.
So you guys can beat up Hawaii, and then all of a sudden somebody else goes and beats them, and it kind of takes all the thunder out of it.
I gotta say, it did not go according to plan because the plan was that we were going to beat Irvine on Saturday night, which we almost did, and then Hawaii was going to do us a favor and get you guys, because we thought, you know what, we beat them in their own house. Hawaii's going to be mad. They're going to be angry.
They hadn't won there since '98. You guys were in
a good spot.
If this was Vegas, you're in a very good probability position.
Then old Reggie Theus goes in, throws a monkey wrench in, and beats him.
Well, the guy you get upset about is Tavrion Dawson. because Taverion Dawson just took the team on his back.
What, he had 22? How many did he have?
He had 22, but 11 of
Hey.
it was like 10 of his first 13.
But I heard that Jeff Galooly is somewhere in the building.
Jeff Galooly?
You know what? He's going to Dawson. He's going to go after him. So there could be a Galooly sighting.
Here's the interesting thing is Taverion does have skinny legs. So that would be Galooly would be a good option to go after Taverion.
I'm telling you, man. I heard because it's the Winter Olympic time. Galooly
He's
sighting.
got nothing to do.
He's got nothing to do. UC Riverside hired him.
Kerrigan. You know, I was rooting for when I was a kid. I rooted for Tanya Harding.
Did you
Because
really?
Nancy Kerrigan was like the girl who wouldn't talk to you in high school. You know.
Oh no, she talked to me.
She did. Well, you were a big basketball star, even though you're not in the Hall of Fame. You're still not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, my dad
Not in
is
the
though.
Ramona Hall of Fame.
Ah, darn it.
Your dad's on the wall of distinction.
Yeah.
Now, we walk in here, and some of the Cal State Northridge coaches are like, oh, man, that's Jeff Gorham, dude. That guy could jump like nobody else.
Danny, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to get Danny out here because they had team meal as you guys were setting up, and Marvin walked through, and you and Marvin had the same job.
We did. We
You were
did.
both
It's-
GAs for Steve Fisher. You were at the beginning, and he was kind of more recent.
I was much cooler.
Well, you know, it's interesting. You were the first. He was the last, right?
Yeah.
Because Fish retired.
That's right. That's right.
And Jeff, I don't know if you know this, Gazal, Jeff was a McDonald's All-American.
Yeah, but then
But
I
he was
broke my
injured.
ankle, and then I was replaced by one of my dad's players at La Sierra High School, Keith Greeley.
And then you were going to play here,
I was.
but
I
then
was.
you broke your Pete Cassidy, right?
Yeah, Pete Cassidy. And I said I had 1 year of Division I eligibility or 2 left at the NAIA. And I just said, hey, I want to keep playing. And it was a good decision. But I really liked Coach Cassidy. And the gym didn't look anything like this when I was.
Had that second level, right?
It
Over
did.
there, yeah.
It did.
So you picked CBU. You picked Cal Baptist over Cal State Northridge.
You're darn right.
That's right. 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, you're darn. Who wouldn't pick CBU, for gosh sakes? I knew something was going. And now look at him.
Now
You
they're
were ahead of
D1.
the curve.
Now they're
Look at that.
D1.
Jeff Gorham, we just found out, Jeff Gorham set the table for all the success that Cal Baptist has enjoyed
I'm bringing
from that point forward.
I'm bringing
You're
football.
bringing football.
I'm bringing football to Cal
You know,
Baptist.
I love, it's funny. I'm going to get you guys in touch with one of the marketing guys for UCLA's name is Damon Dukakis, related to the former presidential candidate. He wrote an academic paper at Berkeley, I think, so that means it's real, that all these Division I AA teams, they should go up to Division 1A. And he actually thinks financially, if schools do it right, football is a very positive thing. Not necessarily to make money in the short term, but in the long term in terms of alumni. You do a number where when you have homecoming games that are basketball, X amount of alumni come back. When you do it for football, you get like 4 times more alumni coming back.
Yeah.
So I think it would be great, and we've talked about this. The Big West should sponsor football. And you start off, you get Davis, Cal Poly, obviously, right
In
away.
Hawaii, yeah.
I'd get – well, no, you wouldn't have Hawaii because they're in a different – Hawaii's 1A.
Oh, yeah,
or
Mountain
1AA.
West.
But you get Sac State. You get San Diego. That's 4 pretty solid
Yeah.
California teams. And you hustle Northern Arizona and Southern Utah. And then you start up with, like Riverside should bring football back.
No.
And then CBU should bring football back, and you put them together.
CBU, yes. Riverside, no.
You don't think so?
We had
No.
Dr. Micah Parker, the director of athletics from Cal Baptist, on Monday. And
I heard that.
He's like, you know what? We'd love to bring football. If Jeff over here has an extra $100 million,
That's what he said.
we'll do it.
No, that's wrong. See, he's an AD. He's got to say that. There was a great study. Alabama Birmingham, UAB, dropped football, citing finances.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, it turned out it wasn't that. It was the pressure because Alabama, this is more conspiratorial stuff, Alabama had people in their pocket in the state legislature. 2 of them said, no, football is very financially viable for the level of which you're playing.
Yeah.
But the one they used was one that said no, and that was funded by these crooks in the legislature.
Those
So
darn
now-
crooks.
There's always crooks
they
everywhere.
got the program back.
They did,
But what
yeah.
I feel bad for is those kids who had to leave when they initially dropped, because they'd commit. You always talk about, kids don't commit to a school, they transfer. Well, what about that? What about a whole athletic department turning their back on 100 kids that committed to you to play football?
I just say they take the gas tax that has been charged in locally, and you fund a football
Football team,
program
right?
at CBU.
Well, it could happen. Let's take a quick break right here. When we come back, we'll talk more about this UC Riverside and Cal State Northridge basketball matchup. We'll also talk a little bit of spring training here for the Dodgers and the Halos, and a little bit later in the show as well. I know Jeff wants to circle back and talk about the Lakers and also Sua Cravens, the pride of Vista Marietta High School, USC.
He's alive?
He's back.
What do you mean he's back?
He was reinstated by the NFL today. We're going to talk about that as well. We mentioned it yesterday. Still trying to get to the bottom of it. It's a very curious situation.
He's like
with
Howard
Sua
Hughes.
Cravens.
He's like the Howard Hughes of the NFL.
He disappeared, but he's back. He's reinstated. He's ready to go. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, live inside the Matadome here at Cal State Northridge as the Highlanders will be taking on Cal State Northridge tonight, Big West Conference play. I do have a question for Gazal. So the mascot, is that Matty?
Matty the Matador.
Does he not work on his forearms? I mean, he's got big biceps, but like his forearms, man, he's like the opposite of Popeye.
I mean, no football team anymore. You know, no football team here
No
anymore.
lifting, no football team.
No, you know, we actually have a new strength. Our old strength and conditioning coach left. There's a new one coming in. Maybe that was in the transfer that got called.
Maybe they looked at Matty and they're like, man, we got to change something. We need a new strength and conditioning guy over here. Matty the Matador.
You know who's the toughest mascot in the conference? You ever seen Peter the Anteater? That guy's got lats.
Is he ripped?
Lats for days. Peter the Anteater.
I just want to know this. His name is Matty? Is it spelled M-A-D-D-I-E?
No.
Is it
M-A-T-T-Y.
Oh.
Controversial.
Yeah, I don't.
You're like Geraldo.
Yeah, I saw he when we first started the show, he walked right by us. It was like 3 o'clock. I'm like, what is?
Yeah, I
why
think
is
he was
dressed
looking
up?
at me. Hard to tell with those eyeballs. I think he was looking at me.
That's right. He would have just moved out of the way. He's a matador.
Jeez, Jeff.
He'd have moved
The
right out of the
low-hanging
way.
fruit. Jeff Gorham, everybody.
Yeah, I'm here every day. 3 to 6.
Yes, we are live here. It's the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, talking all things Highlanders and Matadors. And, of course, we just rapped about the Lakers and the LeVar Ball situation and what they should do there. No drama here, though, just on the court at least, as UCR trying to get that win tonight against CSUN and get a little bit closer. A win tonight still doesn't even guarantee them a spot in the postseason tournament for Big West play, but it gets them a little bit closer. It's the next step. There's 6 games left. I just did the math. Jeff and I do lots of homework for these games.
Yeah, we do.
So I had to figure out who's they're playing.
I'm rooting hard for you guys because I want to hang out with you in Anaheim, guys.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Nothing against Chris Sylvester. He's
Let's
good.
gang up on Pauly.
Okay.
We're ganging up on Cal Poly is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Nothing
Dude.
against Chris Sylvester. Good dude. He's young. He has plenty of tournaments to go. We may not be here next year.
Look at Jeff. Yeah, he might not be here next year.
So
I just want you to say, last year I got to go, and
we hung out.
Yeah, we hung out. I got invited up to a suite.
The
and I
Learfield
was
Suite.
Yeah.
How about the media meal?
The media meal.
How do you like that?
That was fantastic. I was telling Pep, I said, you wouldn't believe the food and the beverages. I'm up there rubbing elbows with the Learfield people. They're telling me I'm fantastic. And then they go, what's your name again? I went, my name's Jeff. Okay, well, you're doing fantastic.
You're so good.
Yeah, I'm not going. I won't show up to the pond. Do they call it the Honda Center? I won't show up to the Honda Center unless we're in because that would just be, they'll be like, hey, look at those guys. They didn't make it.
Hey, you know what, though? Hawaii's going to be in a tough spot now because 4 of their last 6 on the road. And they're playing the tough teams. They got to go.
We play them. We play them on Saturday.
To you guys, they got to go to Irvine. They got to go to Long Beach. It's going to be tough.
I hope they lose every single game. I hope you guys lose every single game. I hope Irvine loses every single game. I hope everyone loses because I want to go to the tournament for the food, and that's it.
He just wants to feast.
I'm just rooting, and Coach Bell, I don't know Coach Bell, but I know his wife very well. So I want there to be harmony in that household.
No, I just want to go for the food. That's all I care about. And I want to show Pep how cool it is to be in that arena.
Yeah, it's like you're the cool guy now. So
yeah, he wants to walk in and be like, oh, my gosh, hey, everyone knows Jeff Gorham. He's so great. Do you remember how high that guy could jump?
Yeah.
Like, he was wonderful. He's such a great broadcaster.
I can't wait to see Hawaii on Saturday. Mike Montgomery's son will be there. Mike Montgomery will show up, and he'll say the same thing.
Mike Montgomery is the greatest man in the world.
He'll be at UC Riverside. He was there last year. I talked to him for a good hour and a half before the game.
That guy should be a stand-up comic. He's incredibly funny.
I think he's dry.
Do you?
No, he's a good guy. I've worked many basketball camps with him. Funny dude. His son's a great guy.
Well, an interesting story. Like he lived in a van and he was
down by the river.
The true hippie experience. And he was the coach at Montana I always forget. It's
Montana.
Montana before he got the job at Cal.
Yeah.
And you know who preceded him? I found this out when we went to Montana. Judd Heathcote. You believe that?
Are you serious?
It's pretty good.
Legendary
he went
name.
from Montana to Michigan State.
I never left.
Where he coached a guy named Magic Johnson.
Irvin
Magic.
You're one of those guys.
Buck. It's Buck.
I know. You're one of those guys. You call him Irvin.
No, we called him Buck. I used to play a lot of pickup games with Magic.
See, here he goes. Here
it is. We used to play a lot of pickup.
We used to call him Buck in our pickup games.
Well, at UCLA, he would play all the time. And
I will say this, because I bumped into Magic at a sushi joint last year, and I dropped Reggie, of course. I'm like, I'm with Coach Diaz. He said, oh, yeah. So, he and Coach Diaz used to play in those pickup games.
Yeah. So, everything was Buck. Every time he referred to Magic, it wasn't, hey, Magic. It was Buck.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what they called
just Buck?
I didn't ask.
Did he fight you? He fought everybody else for some reason.
No, he was too big. He was 6'9". I had to guard him, though, a couple times.
You're the second guy who's told me they had they had a beef with Scotty Brooks.
Scotty Brooks, though, if I saw him today, I'd take him down.
Well, here's the funny thing: is
I'd punch him in the neck.
My other friend who got into a scrape with him was 7 feet tall. So he just doesn't like tall guys.
But I was like 16.
Yeah. Still, you were 6'6", and he's like 5'11". He couldn't take it.
No, yeah, he jumped on my back. I was 16 years old. We're playing pickup games. I had Wayne Ingolstadt, Johnny Rogers, and those guys.
The Doc Torsick brothers.
The Doc Torsicks. The Butler, the big Butler.
Ricky Butler
ate himself.
See,
That's why he was giant.
Ricky Butler was after my time at Irvine, but I remember because I would go to the marketing department, and they still had, like 5 years later, they still had Ricky Butler, the Butler Did It posters.
Hey,
they had him dressed as a butler.
You didn't see him in the marketing department. You saw him in the market eating a lot of food. Ricky Butler was giant.
He was a big fella. Oceanside, right?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I was playing pickup games, and he jumped on my back.
Crawford Hall?
Yeah, jumped on my back, and guys were like, he's a kid. Get off him.
It's a trap.
If I ever see him again, though, because I know his assistant coach, Maz Track, another Irvine guy.
I have a Maz Track story. I can't tell it on the air.
But I'm gonna.
I have a good Maz Track story.
If I ever see Scotty Brooks again, he's done. I've waited years for my revenge.
You gonna wait for the Wizards to come to town, or what?
I was 160 pounds, dripping wet. Now I'm 300. He has no shot at me, and I've been training.
And good knees. You had knee surgery too, so you're ready to go.
I can
you
wrestle.
ever see the movie Diner?
Yes.
Remember? So they're all these guys are hanging out and they're talking, and they randomly go punch somebody. And it was like, that was from a brawl in the baseball game we had when we were in high school. That's how I see Jeff doing it. Jeff just runs up, cold cock Scotty Brooks.
Right, in my beautiful house, in my wife's, in our bathroom, in the corner, up in the mirror, there's a picture of Scotty Brooks.
And
every single day I look at it, and every single day I say, I'm going to get you, Scotty Brooks. I'm going to punch you in the neck. I'm going to get my shot someday. You watch.
3 o'clock.
3
We're
o'clock.
going to fight.
That's right. That's a favorite sound drop here on
Casey
the show.
Sismasco and Richard Tyson in 3 O'Clock High.
He always throws out the obscure reference. Who would know who Casey Sismasco is?
I don't know. Was it Star Wars?
Young Guns,
baby.
Young Guns, baby. Young Guns, come on.
And his sister. Remember, he had a sister.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Amy.
Yeah, she was kind of cute.
Hey, we got to wrap this up here in a couple minutes, but Jeff does a lot of homework, obviously, for these games.
You both do.
Look at right here.
Yeah, lots. That's
advanced metrics.
Analytics.
Wait, let's show right here.
Yeah, here's our homework. Here's our preparation.
You and John Hollinger do the advanced analytics.
But seriously, what are the keys to the matchup? When you look at this game, you've already seen this team once.
I'll tell you, with CSUN, they got to do what they do well. Tavrion Dawson is a bad matchup for most people in this league, and I think they figured out how to utilize him. Now, the problem is CSUN doesn't have anybody to throw the ball down low to, and Tavrion can post up, but he is at his best when he's facing the basket. And similarly to what UCR did against Hawaii, basically Hawaii's defense kind of sagged off, and so you guys had Meno come out and hit those 2 big shots. The difference is Tavrion can hit the 3, but he can also put the ball to the floor and take it to the rim. The other thing they did is they went small, and when Mike Warren, Jonathan Guevara, Lyric Schreiner, Terrell Gomez, and Tavrion Dawson are playing together, I would argue, with maybe the exception of Long Beach or Fullerton, there's not really a team in the conference that can match the athleticism. They even were able to trim a lead against Irvine with that group, but Irvine's up by 20, so they're playing just very, very differently in a different flow. But I think that's the best 5 for CSUN because they can play fast, they can make shots. They lack a little bit of size. They're going to give away a lot of rebounding, but we're not going to out-rebound CSUN UCR anyway. UCR, I think, will have the rebounding edge tonight. So it's really about them doing what they do. I think what UCR will try to do is just pack it in, and the old Everlast House of Pain, pack it in. You'll have Diallo and Larson just kind of right underneath the basket, and then challenge CSUN to attack the rim. But I think the Matadors are best when they're attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line. Really haven't done that a lot this year. So hopefully down the stretch they can do it, win a couple games, maybe get lucky in Anaheim. Who knows?
Are you writing all that down, Jeff?
I got it all.
I'm writing all that down. Pack it in the middle.
Blah, blah, blah,
listen,
blah.
Face the basket.
Here you go. Here's 3 keys for CSUN.
Yeah.
Tavrion Dawson.
Okay, Tavrion Dawson.
Mike Warren.
Okay, Mike Warren.
Terrell Gomez.
I told you that on the drive up, didn't
Done.
I? I did, Pep. I told you. Tavrion Dawson, Mike Warren.
No, he did say that in the car.
And then
I didn't know about the other
Lyric
guy.
Schreiner, Lyric Schreiner, who's 6'3", will out-jump Alex Larson at least for 2 rebounds. The kid's incredible. He's playing against 6'10" players and literally out-jumping them for rebounds. I've never seen anything like it.
Because he's on a pogo stick.
Just super athletic.
Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping to see Alex Larson. He didn't start last game, but he did see
I like
little
Meno.
rusty, but he can solve considerable minutes.
Meno from heaven.
Yeah.
He was on the baseball broadcast with me last year.
Was he really?
Yeah.
What does he know about baseball?
Because the Netherlands won the World Championship in 2015. He's from the Netherlands. They're a big baseball power,
They're also very strong in the Winter Olympics, judging by at least the medal count.
Yeah, I don't watch. I'm out on the Winter Olympics.
I'm totally in on the Winter.
I'm out.
He went to Steamboat Springs. We paid his whole trip to Steamboat Springs.
I watch sports for the politics, not the corruption.
Hey, can I say this?
See what I did there?
Yes, he switched it.
Can I say this?
Yes.
What is the name of the Russian team? They're the
Russian team.
No,
they have a name?
Yeah, well, they're not the Russians. They're something else because they've been banned. Did you see the curler? I'm in love.
Oh yeah, he fell in love.
Oh my gosh.
Like 2 Live Crew, they got banned. Like 2 Live Crew.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. What is her name?
You told me earlier.
I saw the picture. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'm even my wife. We were watching it. She goes, "Oh, I'm in love with that girl. She's beautiful." I said, "You're right, honey. She is pretty." I can't think of her name though.
It was Anastasia.
Something.
Anastasia the curler.
Oh, she looks like a young Angelina Jolie.
And she could really throw those stones.
There she is, right there.
Yeah, that's her.
Anastasia Brizgol.
Jeff really likes her.
Oh, yeah, she's my favorite. I'm going to get a poster of her on my wall.
Get a good picture of her.
I am. I'll see if I can find one where she's wearing her curling outfit. Yes, that's the best picture. She's my favorite.
Have Greg Holla throw on pictures of you by The Cure. That'll be the bumper coming out.
Greg Holla holding it down in the studio. Gazal, we always appreciate the time.
Always fun, guys.
Great notes, too. I wrote it all down, so I'm going to sound like an expert tonight on GoHighlanders.com. We come back here on the Inland Sports Show. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to look.
That's like a glamour shot. That one doesn't
she's
even
beautiful.
count.
Are we going to talk Angels baseball?
We're going to talk a little Angels baseball. We might even dig into some Lakers. I just really don't know.
Rod
Speaking of baseball,
and Sua Cravens, too.
Just throw it out there.
Yes.
UCR baseball will have the 2 games on Friday.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
2 games on Friday. We worked it out yesterday. Won't have Saturday or Sunday, but it's a doubleheader Friday.
Against Erstad?
Nebraska and Washington State.
So now who are they playing? Aren't they playing against an ex-Angel?
Erstad, head coach in Nebraska.
Hey, he was a kicker.
That's right. He was, yeah.
How did I know that? I don't know.
Beats me.
You're smart.
Mind blown right there.
Hey, Gazal, go ahead and get that mighty Boss Stones ready for the next segment. When we come back, more UCR.
More of a smash mouth guy.
Hey, we're gonna beat you to a pulp. You guys are in big trouble tonight, Matadors.
Only if you're playing. You have no eligibility left, Jeff.
Jeff is calling his shot. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Proudly brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Kin Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass, and CATALANO Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. Of course, we bring on Trent Rush, and they're testing out the horns, right? I mean, like perfect timing here.
Very good timing. No, this is good. No, it's getting ready for a big game tonight. There's a lot on the line tonight. A lot at stake.
Yeah, so Trent, in your homework, what did you discover about this matchup?
Well,
let me get my pen and my notes. Okay, go ahead. Now you can go.
These are mine. I think this is like my 5th time seeing you guys, and I've seen CSUN 4 times. Well, that's very good. That's very good notes. Very good prep right there. You guys come in. No one can say you're not ready for this game tonight.
But it's a TV game.
It is. It is a kind of a watch ESPN game. So we'll be online. You can catch us on the stream. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a good one. Look. 2 teams that want to win, 2 teams that are playing better. I mean, I've been critical of UC Riverside. I thought that there were a few times. The first time these two teams played, actually, I thought Riverside quit the last 5 minutes of that game. I thought they did the same thing against UC Irvine when they lost by 39. To the credit of UC Riverside, to be able to bounce back, I thought they looked good against UC Irvine last time out. So credit to Riverside for playing better. Again, you go into Honolulu, get that big win. CSUN's got a couple of dubs. And I just heard you guys talking to Gazal before, try to gang up on Cal Poly, kick them out.
That's right.
Who knows, man?
We are.
The bottom 3, two of these teams are getting into the tournament, and Cal Poly, let's not forget, 2014 won the whole darn thing as a 7 seed. So you never know.
Yeah, we got a beef with Cal Poly now because we were talking about long drives. Jeff and I drove back to the IE after the Cal Poly games. It's a 4-hour drive.
That's
Plus,
a big drive.
If you remember, UCR was up in the final seconds, and then Cal Poly hit the basket with 11 seconds left to take the lead. So it was painful, and then we had 4 hours to think about it on the drive back to Riverside.
Hey, can I just say something to the schedule makers of the Big West Conference? Thank you for assigning UC Irvine's game at Cal Poly on President's Weekend. I'm going up early. I'm hanging out. I got a buddy in Paso Robles. I'm spending the weekend there. I'm coming back on Monday. I'm going to enjoy my time up there. Forget the team. I'm going to make a little vacation out of it.
Hey, Pep and I did a remote from there, and we sat in where all the co-eds come out. The quad.
We sat out in the quad and did the show. The first hour of the show.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if I could do it all over again, I'd go to school there.
That's nice.
Now, Jeff, you signed with the Cal Golden Bears out of high school to play basketball. You went to BYU. You went to Cal Baptist.
I've been all over.
But if you could do it all over again, you'd be at Cal Poly.
Yeah, I probably would have averaged like 35 a game, and I would have had
You're just saying that because the steak sandwiches at Firestone. I know you. Hey, who doesn't love a little Santa Maria tri-tip?
I saw a couple steak sandwiches walking around there. I was like, wow. I mean, I'm telling you.
Jeff wants to go back to college, clearly.
Man, I was just sitting there, and I was like, man, I just want to study out here. I don't know what I want to study, but so I got a comic book, and I sat in the corner and just was like, wow, this is the greatest place in the world.
You're the big shot on campus now. You're the big radio star everywhere you go.
Hey, we were up there, and some guy came.
He took pictures with you.
He got pictures with you. That's Mark. It was Mark, right?
Yeah, Mark Cannon.
Mark Cannon. Came over and said, hey, I want a picture with you, Jeff. And he said, hey, you want a Pep? Hey, Pep, take the picture.
Where was I? I was gone. I bailed. I was getting interviews with some local Inland Empire guys who play football at Cal Poly.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Multitasking.
Yeah, we're big. We're big in the Philippines. We're big all over.
Yeah, so Trent, get this. So
what's up?
We brought up our analytics for the Inland Sports Channel, and we had over 31,000 minutes watched on our channel in the last 28 days. Pretty good. Like, we're not the biggest organization out there. We're
strong.
We're no ESPN like Trent over here, but we do okay. So I was going through and digging a little farther. The second leading country after the United States in terms of minutes watched, the Philippines, like almost 400 minutes in the Philippines. Like, what are we doing? Talking about...
No, you know what that tells me?
What does it tell you?
That tells me that people in the Philippines know quality radio. That's what that tells me. That's what that tells me. These guys get it. They understand.
Well, here, and you could use this on your broadcast, too.
Maybe I will.
The only thing I can think of, Jeff, and I don't know if you know this either.
I don't.
So I was talking to Brandon. I know you don't. I was talking to Brandon Rosser, UCR forward, when we were in Hawaii, and he was telling me his older brother plays professionally in the Philippines, and he is half Filipino. His mom is Filipino.
I did not know that.
So maybe the whole Rosser family in the Philippines is just glued to the Inland Sports Show every single day.
Rosser is the Shohei Ohtani of Big West basketball.
That's right.
That's what it is. Now we know.
Hey,
we figured it out.
Does the Flippin family watch?
The Co-Flippins? I don't know.
Or the whole Flippin family.
Jeff.
Yeah. Woo.
You've been set on that for some time.
I
haven't
love
you?
saying that,
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
good.
flipping family.
Yeah, we use it in all the broadcasts. Like, it's a big flipping 3. You know? So we have fun with it. But, yeah, maybe that's the only thing I can attribute it to maybe is the fact that Brandon Rosser's got some family over there. We had that random girl call the show who's trying to sell us copy machines. Remember, she was Filipino.
She was. Maybe that's why. She's
Maybe
a big fan.
Maybe she called all her family back home and said, "Oh, I'm on some big-time radio show. I want you guys to watch it and listen to it."
I still get emails saying how much I owe them, which is like $25,000.
You bought a lot of copiers and
bought a lot.
printers.
Remember, and I also rented her for like 24 hours a day. So
Because they actually have people stand there and just make sure the machines are producing the copies. Like, literally just stand there and watch.
yeah, and it was $12,000 a day.
How do I get that job?
I'll get.
I would leave you in a heartbeat, Jeff, if I could watch printers. I would do that.
All day?
If you would pay me to do that, I would do that.
There's my man, Blair Orr.
I told you he was a skater.
He is a skater. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's
Do you
big
skate
time.
around campus? Yeah. See?
No, it takes a lot to.
Here,
Come on, Blair Orr. Get on the mic here. We're on Fox Sports.
Cal State Northridge basketball star Blair Orr here live on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE
Go ahead
1350
and grab this,
AM.
Blair.
How's it going?
Plus, I love the Wounded Warrior Project. In fact, we had a big high school football thing in Riverside, where we're
Yeah.
from. A Wounded Norta Vista was in
That's
that game.
right,
They
yes.
beat Palm Desert in that
Yeah.
Wounded Warrior Day, where
I'm
we had a bunch
gonna
of high
show
school
off-
football
I'm
games.
gonna show it on our.
Yeah, go for it. Here.
There we go.
So you just skate around.
It's always actually been a big aspiration of mine to work with them.
Really?
In the long term, yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
after this, I'd like to go to grad school, preferably at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and go into their O&P program, prosthetics.
Look at that.
Hey, Blair Orr's my favorite. By
Another
far.
reason to
He's-
love this guy,
He's my
right?
favorite matador. Last year, my son came down. He was working him out.
Yeah,
and,
Connor.
And is Connor, do you remember?
Oh,
his
you remember
name?
his-
Yeah, and he's the only guy I want to win tonight from Northridge.
But Blair, you ride a skateboarder, I guess, from maybe class to class around
Yeah,
campus, back
yeah.
to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, the LA traffic, I'm not a huge fan of, but I live right off of campus, so it's no problem getting around. So it's much better getting around on a skateboard than trying to go by car.
The secret to your footwork, I guess, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
Maybe.
Now you're really heavily involved on the campus here of Cal State Northridge. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now what are you? Name some of the things that you've done for it, because I follow you on social media and I always see you doing something for the school. Tell us some of the things you've done for Cal State Northridge.
I really just like to jump into anything. I know that's really broad, but for example, just a few months ago, Dr. Hainline, I don't know if you saw that interview, Dr. Hainline, who is the chief medical officer for the NCAA, came to campus and I got to interview him. And that was a really cool experience. And so every time Fox Sports West, I know, broadcasts us, they play that halftime. ESPN does it too. So that was a lot of fun. I was fortunate enough to be picked to go on a trip to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. It was a service trip. I went with 15 other athletes, and that was a blessing. That was amazing. So it's a lot of cool stuff going on here.
Do you want to go into broadcasting? You said you interviewed the
No, it was
the guy for
it
the
was,
halftime show, or
it was just one of those things. Someone called me up and they go, "Hey, we have this opportunity. You want to get in?" Absolutely.
I mean, 'cause I'll get rid of Jeff in a heartbeat if you want to come do some games with me. It's not a problem.
I really one of my big things is I just love to connect with community. It's a big thing for me, you know. I don't exactly play all that much, but it's
and that's a shame. I'm going to tell Coach Diaz that's a shame.
appreciate
He needs to play a lot more.
You know, but there's so many other blessings that have come from this. You know, all the networking, the education alone was the main reason I came here. You know, so it's a lot of different pieces than just basketball and just playing on a court. So,
Well, I can say this personally. You know, if you can impact even one life, and you've impacted my son. Last year came out here, and every time I mention Cal State Northridge, he mentions Blair Orr and asks how he's doing. So if you can do that with my son, and I'm sure you can do that with many people here on campus, outside of campus, and you've been a great asset for the institution here, and very proud to say I get to know you a little bit.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
Biggest skateboarder I know. Also, Blair, best of luck tonight, brother.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. The Wounded Warrior Project too.
I
That's
love it.
cool. That's even better. Love this guy.
Thanks, Blair.
Look, he's gonna grab his. There he goes.
There he goes.
With the skateboard. You know, can't ride in here, of course, right?
No, not well. You could. It's the blacktop.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You could, huh? You're like, you're outside on the asphalt.
We have to tell Blair Orr stories tonight on the ESPN broadcast. That's a must, right? How do we not get that in? I didn't know any of that stuff.
Trent,
I'm sitting here like going, that's amazing.
When you come on the Inland Sports Show, it's like a gold mine.
It is.
Picture yourself, it's like 1849, Virginia City. You're all by yourself, hacking away at the side of a mountain. Boom, gold rush right now here on the Inland Sports Show.
This is it. I am loading up the family truck store, and we are heading west.
That's right.
We're going to California, to them Dar Hills, and we're going to go get some gold.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I'm telling you, I met him last year before the broadcast. We sat down and talked, and we connected. We talked through social media, and he's just a great young man. I know he wants to be, I don't know if it's politics is his future, but whatever it is, he's going to be very successful.
You know what? But think about this for a second. Not to get too deep on you guys, but think about all the struggles that they've had, all the off-court drama that's been here at this institution, right? The scandals with the players that have had to sit out for a year, and all the drama with Reggie Theus and the guys that have come in, and it's been nothing but headaches here for that. That's what you hear about. At UC Riverside, we hear about the issues with the athletic director and the firing of Dennis Cutts and the suspension of players. But then you find the really good stuff, and that's people like Blair Orr. Yeah. So a lot of times you don't see that stuff rise to the surface because sometimes it's just more sexy to talk about the negative.
You're
but
exactly
man,
right.
When you can tell stories about what Blair Orr is doing on campus and him just rocking around in a skateboard, I mean, you guys couldn't see him on the screen or if you're listening on the radio, but I mean, dude's he's got to be at least 6'10", and he's rocking around,
he's listed at
rolling on a skateboard
6'8",
here.
252.
Okay,
And little known fact, he was a CIF Player of the Year.
He was?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, he was a CIF champion, CIF Player of the Year.
High school's that? He's from Camarillo.
Yep.
High school. He went to the University of Winnipeg first. He's a transfer.
He did?
Where's he from?
It says Camarillo. Camarillo, California.
Yeah, he was a really good high school player, and then came over and has really not complained about his minutes. Anytime you watch him get in, he plays as hard as he can. He's one of those guys you root for all the time.
We're all going to be watching the bench, being like, put in Blair Orr so we can talk about this guy. We got so much on this guy.
I'm calling ESPN and I'm saying bring an extra camera to the Matadome right now. We're just going to leave it sit on Blair Orr all night long.
Yeah, he's great.
That's what we're going to do for sure.
Can you hang out one more segment, Trent?
You got it.
Is that cool?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We didn't even get to the Dodgers or the Angels.
Forget the Dodgers.
I know Jeff wants to talk a little Lakers as well because there's some wacky stuff going on in Lakerland. And plus, Sua Cravens, the pride of Vista Marietta High School, he's back, reinstated by the NFL.
He's the Howard Hughes of NFL football.
We're going to talk more Sua Cravens and also Big League Baseball with Trent Rush here. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show, live from the Matadome on the campus of Cal State Northridge. We got Big West basketball tonight for UC Riverside and Cal State Northridge. We appreciate you tuning in here on the leader in the IE, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're talking with Trent Rush here, and Trent's going to be on the call on ESPN3.
Big time.
He gave me some candy.
He gave me one, too.
You know what, Jeff, I've got one more Valentine. Should I give it to Trent?
Yes.
Trent, I'd like to give you a Valentine right here live on the air. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is very nice.
I got one.
Friend is misspelled, but
to my
friend.
To my friend.
My daughter's in Spanish immersion, so she learns everything in Spanish first.
Really?
And I said I before E except after C, and she's like, well, I don't know about that rule. And I'm like, well, of course you don't. You're in Spanish.
Hold on, that's great.
Yeah.
What? I mean, she's gonna be bilingual.
From kindergarten, she's in 3rd grade now. From kindergarten, from the first time they walked in the door, it was all Spanish.
I love it.
Whether
That's
it was
great.
science, math, spelling. She goes to private Christian school, so Bible class, everything was in Spanish, and she didn't know any Spanish from day one.
And Ellie is cute as a button.
Good at gymnastics.
Gymnast.
Hey, how'd the birthday party go on the Super Bowl?
It was.
He just went for the jugular, man. He's like, boom.
I didn't mean to be harsh. I was
Well,
just,
you know, the family showed up.
That's
you know,
good.
Jugular shot.
And then Johnny's girlfriend Jillian showed up, which was a big
That's the
thing.
important
That was
thing. Yeah.
5-year-olds. It would have crushed his world if Jillian wouldn't have been there. The bouncer was hit. Everybody seemed to leave though for a reason, like at 2:30.
Interesting.
They were out. I don't know why they left so early.
When was kickoff for the Super Bowl? When was that?
3:15.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. That's weird.
Those jerks.
Priorities.
My mom and dad, you jerks.
Why is Grandma and Grandpa leaving so early?
Right.
All right, we're going to talk a little Angels baseball here with Trent as well. And spring training is upon us. The pitchers and catchers are reporting. Do you know, when did the Angels, the full squad, report? Do you know?
So the full squad reports on Monday.
Okay.
The first official workout isn't until, or as a whole team, isn't until next Tuesday. But the interesting thing is, like, so many guys are there now. Like, I was talking with Garrett Richards, Cole Calhoun, C.J. Crone.
Yeah, because if you show up on time, you're late.
Right, exactly. But these guys have been there since November. Like, that's different.
Geez.
That's different this year. No, they've been checking in the facility basically weekly, sometimes more than that, since about November. This Angels team this year, there's a rededication, a refocus. They're excited. They know that they can be contenders this year. The roster is much improved. And I think these guys are just straight up tired of losing. And I would be, too, when you have the best player in the world out there in center field. Get it together, and I think this team is pretty committed to doing that this year. You know, you hear about some clubhouses, guys showing up late or showing up fat. You know, that happens. That doesn't seem to be happening in Angels camp.
He looked at you, Jeff, when he said that. It's so weird. He looked your way.
How dare you, Trent? Hey, now, my big question is, I'm an Angels fan, and I've been a Mike Scioscia fan the entire time. Was there ever a time you think that he lost his clubhouse? And do you think maybe the newer guys that are coming in, he's kind of regained that momentum?
I don't know if I like the lost the clubhouse idea, because I don't think that was ever the case. I think the thing with Mike Scioscia is he can be challenging because he's a stubborn guy for one, but it's because he's a winner, and other stubborn players are going to come in and might not necessarily agree with all that, and you're going to learn the hard way that when you argue with Scioscia, it generally doesn't go well. I've said this about Scioscia for a long time. There are things that he does that, you know, when I do the post-game show and I take calls and tweets from fans that always want to complain about the manager, there are things that I see in the game too. And I think to myself, oh my gosh, I can't believe that he did that tonight. How is this guy supposed to know? Well, every day, the next day, I always go and I talk to I ask Scioscia about it, and he has been able to give me an explanation every time. Because, I mean, who am I to argue with Scioscia about, like, decisions he's making, right? That's not my place to do that. But he always gives me an explanation. And to his credit, he will never say this, but a lot of times he falls on the sword for players, and he will take the fall for them, and at the cost of maybe himself looking like he made an interesting decision when really it was a smart decision, but he's never going to tell us the reason why, and I would never share the reason why, and that's who Scioscia is, and I think that he deserves a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a huge fan forever, but I've seen some of the moves that the Angels have brought in, guys that have been kind of not cancer guys, but just kind of on the cusp of being a little different. And like you said, he sits guys because he's an old school guy. Yeah. I remember the old small ball Angel, ball clubs. Do you think we'll get back to that maybe a little bit this year? Because there's a lot of young talent in this program.
I think we'll see it at times. You know, the other thing too is this is a really good clubhouse. Like, these are good dudes. Like, Justin Upton talked about this, and part of the reason why Ian Kinsler waived his his no-trade clause to come to the Angels is because Upton got on the phone and talked with Ian and said, hey, this is a great place to be. I love it here. He was eager to re-sign a 5-year extension. He wants to be here. I cannot say enough good things about Zach Kozar. Absolutely love that dude. I think he's going to flourish at third base for the Angels this season. And then it's all centered around Mike Trout, who I know you guys are really tight. You guys are best friends.
Yeah, I love him.
You know, but like it doesn't take much to know how good of a dude Trout is, and he lives up to it in every which way. And I think that just kind of that core and guys like Cole Calhoun and Andrelton Simmons and Albert Pujols, what he does in the community, like it's a good clubhouse. And I think that is going to be pretty beneficial as to why I think they'll have success this year.
Speaking of Pujols, he's pretty healthy. There sounds like he wants to be on the field playing.
Hey, finally, right? He finally gets an off season where he gets to treat it like an off season, not be able to not rehab the whole time. He's coming in healthy. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you've seen pictures of him. He looks great. Word on the street is that he's lost 30 pounds. I mean, he looks really good.
And he'll have to play more first base, right?
Yeah,
because of Ohtani. Is that what it sounds like?
I mean, is he going to play 50 games a year at first? Is it going to be 100? Is it going to be more like 20? I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but you need Albert in the lineup, and you're going to need Shohei in the lineup if he's as good a hitter as what we hear that he is. So, yeah, that probably is going to mean more first base for Albert, but a healthier, more in shape Albert this year I think is going to bode well for the Halos.
Hey, Trenton, we had some Inland Empire guys on the Halos last year. The Vato from Rialto, Ricky Nolasco, who is still a free agent. Brooks Pounders, remember? Great
Riverside.
Baseball name. Yep, he's signed with the Rockies. I believe that was a minor league deal, but he's with the Rockies right now. And Jesse Chavez from A.B. Miller High School in Fontana. I don't know. I just looked him up right now. I can't get a straight answer if he's still on the roster.
I don't think he's in camp. No.
Yeah, there's like an Angels preview. It says potential minor league signing target. So I think he's like still out there.
They could bring him back should they choose to. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other IE guys. There's been a long tradition of IE Halos. I mean, even Troy Percival and Adam Kennedy.
That's right.
And a lot of
Adam Kennedy. That's right. Yeah.
I mean. Tim Salmon lived in the Northville area. He was an Inland Empire guy. Mike James was another guy that would come out and lived out in the area. And in fact, I used to see him after Angel games. Hanging out.
Hanging with the players post-game. Now we know you're big time. Look, we know when Jeff Gorm's on here.
Yeah, what were you doing, Jeff?
I was hanging out with Percy at one time in my life. There was a place in Riverside that those guys would go after the game, Salmon and those guys, and I'd see them. I was always too scared of them because they were tough guys.
You know the real big-time move right now is he's telling us about us, but he's not going to disclose the location because he's looking out for his boys.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a good call. That's a big-time move right there.
Snitches get stitches, right?
That's slick. That's
what they
slick.
say in the Gorham house. Trent, we actually talked to Troy Percival on, was it Monday now, or was it? It was Tuesday. It seems like a blur.
Yeah,
was that yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah,
I was driving in the snow.
You were driving in the snow, but we talked to Troy Percival because the UC Riverside baseball team will actually be down at Diablo Stadium for a doubleheader against Nebraska and Washington State beginning on Friday to open up their season. We asked him about Shohei Ohtani, and don't get me wrong, it's a big deal when you have a guy who can pitch and hit like he does.
Right.
But I asked him, Coach, when you look at UCR, and I'm sure this is very similar situations, around Division I college baseball, but at UCR, they've got like 5 guys who are awesome pitchers and great hitters, and he's got to find a way to keep them in the lineup and also, give them rest when they pitch. I'm like, so don't get me wrong, Shohei Ohtani, it's a big deal. It's not a novelty act, like he's the real thing. But if you go to, let's say, a UC Riverside baseball game, you can see it out there too. There's guys that good who can do both on the mound and at the plate.
Yeah, there's the guys that – I mean, it's figuring it out. And I think it starts with pitching because the pitcher can influence a game and has the biggest influence on the game, whether it be 32 starts a year or 28 starts a year, whatever the Angels decide to do with the 6-man rotation. But because the starting pitcher has that much of an impact, that's the thing you look at first, and that's deciphering who's a legit arm and who's a guy that can throw pretty well. And it's also figuring out, look, if you have a legit arm that can also swing a decent bat, okay, well, maybe that's a nice luxury at times. But some other guys are pure hitters. It's very rare that you see guys that are truly great at both. There's guys that can do both, but to be truly great at both is such a rarity. It's why we've never seen it at the big league level since Babe Ruth.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different. National League guy, pitchers hit the ball.
Like Bumgarner can swing a bat.
Yeah. But, how is Ohtani going to split his time in the batting cage in the field and pitching the ball. That's a big question for Mike Scioscia to deal with, and the entire the pitching coach, the hitting coach, the fielding coach.
They all got to work together to make this happen.
Yeah, and that was the theme of the press conference today when Ohtani addressed the media for the first time since arriving in Angels camp. And I thought it was really interesting the way he said he's kind of been warned about how much work it's going to be and what it's going to take, and he seems prepared for that challenge. And the Angels are ready for it. 23 years old. So think of it this way: think about Ohtani as an elite college prospect that has experience playing at the next best thing to the big leagues. And, so I think expectations need to be tempered a little bit because, I think maybe one day this can be a guy that's going to hit, 20 home runs and win 50 games for you. I think that eventually is going to happen.
Because they're like, he's the next Babe Ruth.
Right, but to expect that year one, if he gets 10 wins and hits 10 home runs, I mean, that would be unbelievable this year. It hasn't been done since Babe Ruth.
Yeah, and you got to look at playing back in Japan. They don't throw inside.
Yeah.
So the game is going to be a lot different hitting the ball because everybody's going to go inside on him.
Soch talked today about the priority, or it was actually yesterday. He talked about the priority being on pitching first. You want to establish Shohei Ohtani as an elite pitcher for you. And then if the hitting comes, and he'll have chances to hit. I imagine he'll be afforded every opportunity to be a batter in the Angels lineup. But the primary focus, it sounds like, is going to be on pitching.
Trent, we got to wrap this up, but real quick, you want to tease your skit on ESPN3?
Okay,
we
check
see
out
balloons and we see candy. And
ESPN3 starting at 7 o'clock. Don't be there at 7:01. If you're there at 6:59, you wait. 7 o'clock on the nose. I'm hearing that there may be an Oscar nominee on the way to somebody that's going to be in this. We'll have to find out. It's going to be awesome. We had a fun Valentine's Day skit. I'm sure it'll get posted to social media later.
Well, you just
had a blast.
You just got a golden mic. Now you could get an award.
Everything.
Hey, I'm going for it all. Why not? Why hold back? Hey, I'm coming on this show because I want to be guest of the year. Like, I'm trying to compete with Gasol is tough to do.
Now. Yeah.
You're a triple threat. When are you going to start singing?
No. Don't tempt me with a good time. I can't sing, but my stage presence will get you in karaoke.
Trent, we always appreciate the time. Enjoy Angel spring training. Hopefully we can hear from you next week when you're actually down there in Arizona.
I'll be calling you from Tempe. I'm excited for it.
All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to talk Lakers. We're going to talk about Sua Cravens of the Washington Redskins and an Inland Empire guy. And also, Jeff and I have written some Valentines for the UC Riverside men's basketball team. This is going to be wonderful. This is going to win a lot of awards coming up for the Inland Sports Show. It's going to put us on the map. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. And welcome back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Jeff, we are live and amplified from the Matadome at Cal State Northridge. UC Riverside taking on Northridge tonight. Big West Conference basketball. A couple more things that we want to get here on the show before we wrap things up at 6 o'clock. We're going to give way to San Diego State basketball. Aztec Gold, they are taking on Wyoming tonight right here on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. I guess the good news, is that a band?
The band is here.
Maybe they know the Stones.
If they don't know the Stones, they're not a band. And I'm telling you right now, they look like a band.
Cue them up, Greg. Cue up the Stones, because in just a second, we're going to talk UC Riverside basketball and the fact that we've got some Valentines for the players. But real quick, couple quick notes here. So Vista Marietta product, Sua Cravens, big-time linebacker and safety from Vista Marietta High School. He went to USC. He went to the Washington Redskins. Well, he spent 6 months, or after 6 months, that the Redskins put him on the reserve left squad list. Because remember, we weren't really sure what was going on with Sua Cravens. And he was on the reserve left squad list, meaning that he kind of went.
Hey, no, he's nuts.
He just went.
He's
like
crazy.
AWOL. Like he just left, and people weren't sure that. Was he hurt? Was he contemplating retirement? We're Sua Cravens fans. We just didn't know what was going on, but he was officially reinstated. That's the breaking news today, that the Washington Redskins, the NFL, officially reinstated Sua Cravens, so he can return to the team. But we'll see what their plans are. Maybe they bring him back into the fold. Maybe they try to trade him. We don't know, but Sua Cravens officially reinstated by the NFL today. And again, Vista Marietta High School guy, one of the best high school football players I have ever seen in the Inland Empire.
I want a video camera around that guy 24 hours a day, because he is like the Howard Hughes, like I said, of professional football. He's always has something up his sleeve that you kind of question and go, huh? But yeah, he's a great player. Hope to see him back.
When anything happens with Sua Cravens, we'll of course report it here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Nothing but love for Sua Cravens here from Jeff and Pep. Okay, so NBA basketball, the Lakers are taking on the Pelicans tonight. The Clippers get the Celtics, and again, once all the dust settled from that big trade between the Lakers and the Cavaliers, of course, the Lakers got Isaiah Thomas. Well, he had 22 off the bench against Dallas in his debut. Not too bad, right, Jeff? 22 off the bench, a new team. And then Cleveland last night, oh no, the Cavaliers are getting good, Jeff. They beat Oklahoma City last night, 120-112. So Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., some of the new guys they get with LeBron, and boom, man, just brings out the best in them. They're playing great basketball.
Hey, do you know what pyrite is?
Pyrite. No, what is that?
Fool's gold, my friend.
No, you're right. I just went to Calico Ghost Town. I remember them talking about it.
Pyrite. It's fool's gold. I'm going to tell you, right now they're playing well because no one has really scouted them. It's kind of hard to scout a team that hasn't played together. But once these guys play together for a number of games, guys are going to scout them. They're going to figure them out. And I'll tell you what, if it doesn't go well the rest of the season, LeBron is gone.
LeBron James to the Clippers.
No, stop it.
Clippers are playing the Celtics tonight, so that's a reunion there, obviously, for Doc Rivers going back to Boston.
Maybe he can coach there again.
Hey, you know what? You bring LeBron James again to the Clippers. LeBron James, Lou Williams, DeAndre Jordan. That's not a bad big three.
Who's going to coach him? Because I have a bet with you, a big sandwich.
That Doc is out?
That Doc will be out.
As soon as the
Doc's
season's
not
out.
Okay, look, if he's out during the offseason, you owe me the biggest sandwich I can pick.
You got it. Whatever, if it's a 3-foot sandwich, whatever you can find.
I'm going to pile it high with meats and cheeses.
So a big game tonight. The Clippers taking on the Celtics. The Lakers taking on New Orleans as they continue this road trip before the All-Star break. Because remember, the All-Star break is in Los Angeles. The All-Star game, all the festivities, all that good nonsense.
Well, and today they said that Lonzo Ball will make his second half of the year will be after the All-Star break. He will be available for that first game, but is not playing in the shooting stars skills thing competition. He decided to opt out, but he is going to make a comeback, which is going to change up the rotation. IT is going to come off the bench. I don't think IT's ever come off the bench.
No way.
You think Lonzo starts, or you think IT?
I think IT starts, right?
Nope.
You're the basketball expert.
I'm telling you now, Lonzo Ball will start no matter what.
I say if things go well with Isaiah Thomas, he's going to carve out a spot in the starting lineup for the Lakers, at least for the rest of the season. Again, I don't know if he's even coming back to the purple and gold, but he's going to carve out a starting spot. He's that good. You can't not play him.
He's like that scooter you rent on Venice Beach. just for a short amount of time, and it's gone. If you drive around
It's a lot
Venice
of fun
Beach,
while you got it, right?
Yeah, you know, and think of it this way. If you go to Venice Beach and you rent a bike and you stop and you have a burger and you park that bike out in front, guess what happens to that bike? It gets stolen really quick
By
and it's
somebody
gone.
else, right?
Yeah, I think IT's just here on a rental.
All right, Greg Holla holding it down in the Fox Sports IE 1350 AM studio back in Riverside. Greg, you know what to do. Get the Stones queued up because we're going to talk a little UC Riverside basketball right now for the next 5 minutes before we hit another commercial break. And we have some Valentines that we'd like to send out to some members of the UC Riverside men's basketball team. You want to take the first one with Chance Murray?
No, I would love for you to read. I can't read your writing.
You can't? You already did. Okay, the first one. This one's going out to Chance Murray. Chance, take a chance on love. From the Inland Sports Show, will you be our Valentine? That's for Chance Murray. Is that okay?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
This one goes out to, he's like an Energizer bunny. It's co-flipping, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
He does that, steals and three-pointers, and he's throwing his body all over the floor for loose balls and whatever.
Yeah.
This Valentine's going out to co-flipping. Co, you're so flipping hot. Will you be my Valentine? From the Inland Sports Show.
I got one. I'd like another take on that one. I love you so flippin' much, honey. Be my Valentine.
You know what? There's one guy on the team, Jeff. You know, we like them all, but you've really grown close to this guy. Riker Pierce, the sharpshooter from Idaho, right?
You mean the Eagle Scout?
The Eagle Scout.
Oh, yeah.
Who's actually, did I tell you about this? He's into video. He's into drones. He flies drones around. He takes great video, and he produces, things he can put on social media like Instagram. He's very big into that.
Oh, he's got to be big at something. He hasn't made too many shots this year. I want to see Riker Pierce make a few shots.
Well, maybe this will help him because it is Valentine's Day, and we're celebrating it big time here on the Inland Sports Show. I mean, nothing says love like Valentine's Day and the Stones, so we're putting them together here. So this one's going out to Riker Pierce, one of our favorites. Riker Pierce, your love has pierced my heart. Will you be my Valentine? From the Inland Sports Show. I feel like Jimmy Fallon, he does, what is it called, thank you notes?
Yeah, you and Jimmy Fallon, you know what? You guys are a lot alike. You know why?
Why is that?
You're both 2'6".
2'6"?
Yeah, you're a little guy. He's a little guy.
Oh, my gosh.
You guys are like twin little guys.
These next two are kind of hard, so I'm going to have to really dig in and concentrate. Are you ready? Okay. This one's going out to the gentle giant.
The ginger giant?
Well, I called him gentle. You call him Ginger. He's a redhead. The big man in the middle who's got such a sweet shot from the outside. We're talking about, of course, Minnow Dykstra, right?
Yes.
So, Minnow Dykstra, Minnow, do I love you? Instead of man, do I love you? Will you be our Valentine from the Inland Sports Show?
It's so great. Minnow from heaven.
All right, and we've got one more. We're trying to come up with one for Coach Bell. If we can think of one before the break, we'll do it. If not, maybe we'll circle back around our final segment when we say good night. But we got one more, and this one.
I got one. Oh. Just in time to ring my bell. Happy Valentine's.
Oh my gosh!
You threw both of them in there. Did you like that?
It's very, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, and this one's going out to Dominic Pickett.
Dominic Pickett of Rancho Verde.
Of the UC Riverside men's basketball team. Here's his Valentine. Dear Dominic Pickett, go into the jewelry store, find your favorite ring, and pick it.
That's my favorite one.
Is that a good one?
I didn't know that one was coming.
Oh, man. We got to think of something better for Justin Bell. We'll work on that when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. We're going to wrap this thing up. We'll get you all set for the Highlanders and the Matadors coming up here at GoHighlanders.com. That's Jeff Gorham. I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
I didn't know that was coming. That was a good one.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports AE 1350 AM, a Valentine's edition live from the Matadome at Cal State Northridge, getting you set for UC Riverside taking on Northridge tonight. Real quick, Jeff, we have a couple more Valentines that we'd like to pass out. I'll let you go first.
Okay, Blair Orr, the guy we interviewed earlier from Cal State Northridge. Blair, will you be my Valentine or not?
Blair Orr, or not. And this one's going out to head coach Justin Bell for UC Riverside. And I'd just like to tell him, Coach Justin Bell, will you be my Valentine or I will feel horrible? Don't make me feel horrible,
That was
Coach
horrible.
Bell.
That was so funny.
Anyways, it's been a fun show here at the Matadome. It's been brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and low prices. Make sure you check them out off of Alessandro Boulevard. You get the flour, you get the mint, you got the whole deal at Spoiled. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire. My goodness, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs. They deliver all the time, and they also got the Letterman's jacket. They got embroidery and printing right there in their shop. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Check out boosttrainingsystems.com. That's the website. You can get more information. Remember, they got the strength and the speed class, and that first one is always free, so no reason to go check that out. See if you see some improvement, and I know you will at Boost Performance Training in Corona. And CATALANO Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road, where you can buy, trade, and finance. You know, it can be difficult to buy that new car. Don't let it be. Go to CatalanoCars.com. That's the website. And then CATALANO Motors is off Temescal Canyon Road. I know you've seen it. Everyone's driven by it. Go check them out when you're purchasing that new vehicle. All right, big game tonight. UC Riverside taking on Cal State Northridge. Jeff, this is kind of like a playoff game. Must-win time for the Highlanders, and we'll break it down tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is, if they don't win tonight, it's almost out of sight to get in that big tournament.
This is as about a must-win game as you can have with still 6 to play. This is must-win time at Cal State Northridge. We'll see if the Highlanders can get it done. And again, we'll break it down tomorrow on the Inland Sports Show at 3 p.m. every single weekday here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coming up shortly after us, stay tuned for San Diego State basketball as the Aztecs are taking on Wyoming, a team actually they lost to, Jeff. They lost at Wyoming, trying to get a little bit of payback here in Mountain West Conference basketball. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.